Hello, welcome, it's Carrots here. Since there's not going to be gameplay in this video, it's just meeting lots of Sims and having a look around Vice City, I have put my graphics up to maximum. There is no way I would be able to guarantee saving any of my gameplay with my graphics set up this high. This is Vice City. It's quite a small world. It is just a city on an island in the ocean, and I think it's based on the game Grand Theft Auto. There are lots of very tiny houses in this world. A lot of the buildings in the world are shells with only outer walls, and they've got windows and doors to make them look good from the street. Some of them have rooms and a few are furnished. There are also two small islands in the ocean, and we'll check them out. The first, this one, is a house on stilts, and it has internal floors and walls but no furniture. The other island is built to look like a cargo ship. It isn't able to move as it's really an island and fixed onto the spot. It's got rooms and ladders inside, but it isn't easy to get a sim inside it without some form of teleportation. There's another similar ship tied up at the wharf in the city. It's blue, and I haven't investigated it yet. Now, let's focus on the main larger islands. I will show you around quickly, then we will begin meeting the new residents. I won't spend much time on anyone, but will give you a brief introduction and let you see something of the interior of their houses. When I moved my Sims from the main household in either Moonlit Falls, where they were originally, but they're now in Appaloosa Plains, so when I moved them from their main household to other worlds, I let them take all of their possessions with them. This includes things they have found, made and caught, and are able to carry in their personal inventories. Since Sims with lots of stuff in their personal inventories slow the game down dramatically, I try to keep their inventories as close to empty as possible. So, when I put them into their new house, I unpack their stuff and put it in cupboards and boxes. This means I really do want them to stay put wherever it is that I've put them. Unfortunately, the game loves to shuffle unplayed Sims around multiple different households. I've had a few problems with returning Sims to their original homes. One of them I just left where she moved herself to, and she lost all of her stuff that she'd taken with her from Moonlit Falls. Her name was Barbara Sasithyavod. She is the imaginary friend made real of Don's alien daughter, Mary. A few episodes ago, I moved a favourite imaginary friend made real from another game into Barbara's former house. So Win Holden from the 30 Grandchildren Challenge was an imaginary friend made real, and she now has possession of all of Barbara's stuff, plus her own stuff. I don't think Barbara minds. She stayed in the house she originally moved to. Her original home was next door to her previous owner in a group of houses with Sims moved from the main household. Other Sims regularly move around, and it's a nuisance having to track them down and move them back home, especially if you come across one of them in a new house and you don't really remember where they came from. This wouldn't be happening if there were no refrigerators in any of the empty houses. Unfortunately, some of the houses are furnished and contain at least one fridge. I have found at least one empty house with more than one fridge. It was a mansion and there were fridges on various levels. A few months ago, I went through the world and removed all of the fridges from all of the empty houses. Or at least I thought I did. I don't know what happened. Maybe I didn't save properly. I'm not sure. But it seems I missed a few. So Sims was still being moved out of their original houses. This world is the beta version and was made by Fresh Prince. He abandoned the world, and a finished version is unlikely to become available. I found it by searching for Vice City Sims 3, and I was able to download it that way. The world is not completed and has no Sims living in it, so when I moved Sims from the main household, they had no other companions around town, except for the one Sim that I had added to the world so I could get a save of the NHD file and put it into the save file for this game. And her name is Carolyn Price. She's a sim I've not played much. She was originally made so I could learn about custom content in my game, and she has a custom skin and a Sims 3 store hair. I wanted to make the world a more interesting place to visit and wanted my Sims to be able to have new friends and maybe even develop relationships, so I decided to move some Sims in from my library. I've made a lot of Sims since 2009 and I try to keep them all. I try to keep the brand new unused version as well as versions where they have got skills and had been played for different lengths of time. So some of them are, at top level of just about everything, and a lot of them have got 0 at just about everything. And I thought I'd get some skilled Sims. Because I've got so many Sims, I don't have them all installed in my library all of the time. I've got hundreds of them, probably close to 1,000 of them, backed up on my external hard drives. So that is where I went looking. And I just sort of grabbed a few, and I realised after a while that the ones I had just grabbed were single Sims mostly, and they tended to not have any skills. So that was a bit sad. But then I managed to track down a few households with 8 or more, because for several years I only played with housemates, 8 housemates, because I had issues with babies and children and toddlers being disconnected from their parents through the family tree breaking. This was before I got mods. I don't have that problem anymore now that I've got my mods in. So I had lots of households of 8 young adults with lots of skills. So I grabbed what I thought was a couple of them, but they were also versions with not many skills. So there's plenty of work to be done. I ended up putting more Sims into the world than I had originally planned. I made a couple of extras to be a bit more colourful, because I like to have things that are not boring in my games. I guess you've worked that out by now if you've been watching all of my various video series. So now that we've had a look at the world, I suppose better go checking out the Sims I've added to it. There's only one other thing I need to say about the world, is it does have most of the rabbit holes, all of the main ones anyhow. You just can't see them because they're hidden in basements with buildings above them that look like the type of architecture that Fresh Prince decided was the architecture required for this world. So now let's begin meeting the new occupants of this world. I'll start with the base camp. It was already there when I opened the world. It's an existing building, but I used a mod to turn it into a base camp. And I'll just have it there, so that's where all of the Sims land when they move from another world. So nobody actually lives there. Bill's in there at the moment. He escorted the new Sims to this world. He's ready to go home again. So as not to miss anybody, I think I will progress from the base camp and just go straight along the beach and then come back down the other street. And I'll be skipping on a lot of buildings. Most of the buildings I will skip because there's nobody in them, and there will never be anybody in them. I'm not going to fill the world with as many Sims as I can pack in. I think it would just simply refuse to open if you put that many Sims in the world. I'm not going to put anybody into those houses on the little islands in the middle there. They're quite large houses, and if I ever move a large family to the world, I probably will move them into one of those houses, but I'm not currently planning to do something like that. Meet Colleen Baker. She's not at home. She's visiting this package storing company for some reason. She has got some skills, but not very high level skills, and she is doing what I wanted her to do. She's meeting Sims, and she's become best friends with several of the Sims moved from the main household, so she's doing what she was supposed to do. Unfortunately, that building behind her is designated as an art gallery, but it's full of junk, and there's local Sims in there expecting to be entertained, and all they can find is the toilets and some junk. Oh well, she's gone back inside anyway. This is her home. We'll just do a quick look through it. It's She's quite close to the base camp. There was no Sims living anywhere along the beach, so I've come back to the base camp, and this is the first house, and it's behind the base camp, quite close. I'll go into map view to see what I've done with the map tags. Firstly, the green map tag is Colleen's house. The other occupied house is to the right and closer to the bottom of the screen, and that is the base camp. Now, as I go up the screen, you'll see most of the houses are empty. See that group of 10 occupied houses there in the middle? That is where the Generation 1 Sims live. Carolyn Price is in that group of houses too. I'll skip over them for now. I gave them a description so I don't have to go into each house to find out if it has a fridge or not. And since there are so many empty houses, it can be difficult to remember the state of each unoccupied house. And most of these houses are going to be unoccupied all the time. They're just there to make the world look busy. Anyway, the next group of 3 occupied houses are where I placed the most recent arrivals to Vice City. They are the Generation 2 Sims. There's another group of Generation 2 Sims on the other side of the world. We'll get to them later. Now, Debbie and the 2 imaginary friends of Debbie and her twin sister Donna live in those 3 houses. Donna won't be moving to Vice City as she is the heir to Generation 3 and will be having babies for the next generation. We'll see her first baby arrive in the next episode. I'll just show you one of the rabbit holes. This is the grocery store, and from the outside you'd never know it. It's got the grocery store map tag though. Now let's go and see if we can find one of the Sims from my library. And I think there's one living on this little island up the top here. The only one that's got an island home. And she's a mermaid. Philippa Mermaid is a bit of an experiment. She's out of my library. She has the permanent mermaid lifetime reward, and I'm not playing her, so I would like to see if she survives. I have a suspicion that mermaids with the permanent mermaid lifetime reward might dry up and die like Mia Azul did in my Ala Paradiso bunch videos. At least they keep her with them, they take her whenever they move. But this one is not played, and we'll see how she goes. She's still got her scales, she won't lose them. I think they lose their scales usually when they lose their mermaid occult type, and that if they don't have the permanent mermaid lifetime reward. Her house is quite big, but then she's on that island. We'll see a few Sims with fairly large homes, but mostly they're in tiny little shoebox type of places that I've had to put multiple basements in to give them living area. The next Sim we're going to meet is Carla Hoffman. Now she is a base game only Sim. I made several of them back in 2017 when I was setting up this computer as a brand new computer. I had installed just the base game when I made them. She's in my library, she's also in my studio. If you go to my studio on the Exchange, and you'll find Carla Hoffman. Carla wasn't at home when I went to her house, she was at work. And she's in the criminal career, so this is the criminal hideout. I haven't seen this one before. I'm thinking maybe it's something Fresh Prince might have made, or he's found it somewhere and he's put it into this world. I like it. It's got all these broken windows in it and all that sort of thing. It looks great. That's the back door where the employees come and go from. But I thought it was interesting, so I thought I'd show it to you. I have other Sims working in that career. She's not evil or anything like that, I don't think. She just had a desire to be in the criminal career when I put her into the game, so I just sent her there. Now she wants to be in the medical career. It's not going to happen, not unless she still wants to do it and I decide to play her at some point. She's a kleptomaniac though, so maybe she belongs in the criminal career. Who knows? There's her house. She's got a tiny little house. Now these extra Sims were added to the game in the hope that they would meet my Sims from the main household and give them extra friends and people to talk to. And most of the ones that I've added are doing exactly that. But Carla seems to not be very sociable. The only person she knows in the world at this stage is the person that she's working with in the criminal career. We will meet him towards the end of the video because there's a lot of Sims living between Carla and Wendell. Anyway, maybe she'll eventually get to know the other Sims. Who knows? Her house is fairly small, but it's not as small as some of the other houses that the Sims are living in. in this world. Most of them got similar things in their homes, but each one got an individual version of it. It looks like I forgot to finish hers off because she didn't get a few things. I'll make a note that she needs some storage space and some lamps in her bedroom, and I'll come back to her later, but not in this save because this is one that is not part of the game anymore. The game has moved on. This is just not one that I save as with a new name, so I'd have it to do this video. Now, just a little distance away, just around the corner, is Wendy Worthy's house. Now this is a tiny house. It was already fully furnished. All I did was upgrade the bathrooms, kitchen appliances and her bed. I think I'll have to come back and remove the spare beds and add some storage because I didn't give her anything to put her stuff in. She doesn't have much stuff. She's just got an inventory full of wildflowers. And she's got her box of mystery because she is in the magician career. I made her, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. Had trouble, as usual, thinking up a name, and that's the name that popped into my head. I don't even know if it's a real family name, but that doesn't matter, she's got a name. This little house is a bit too small for me to show you another view all we can have a look at. Today is the view straight down from above. I've made a note to come back in here next time we visit this world with a live game and delete those 2 spare beds and give her some storage space for her inventory items. Now let's move on to the next household. But as you can see, several of the houses around them are empty. And here is Meryl Gordon. She is another one of the base game only Sims that I made back in 2017 and loaded to my studio on the Sims 3 Exchange. And she's been downloaded a few times, but I have hardly played her at all. I think I've put her into a couple of games and done nothing with her. So she's pretty much a brand new Sim. She's got quite a small house, but it's bigger than most of them. And I've upgraded her kitchen appliances and some of the bathroom, but I'm going to have to come back here and give her storage for anything that she picks up. Obviously didn't think about it at the time because she's a brand new Sim and she hasn't been played, so her inventory is pretty much empty. The thing is, when I was placing these first few Sims, they were the first ones that I put into the world, but at this stage I hadn't really worked out how I wanted them to live and what I wanted in their houses. But I did eventually work it out, and I didn't come back to them to make sure that they were up to the standard that I've gradually developed. So I'll have to come back and sort that out later on. No point doing it now because I won't be saving my changes I do here. She's got herself a little Twizzy there in the carport. Now leave Meryl's household and we'll go on to the next Sim. Now if this is Barbara Sisithugvod, she is a Generation 1 Sim, and I'll go to her house because it's unusual. She ran away to live in this place and she's staying there for some reason. It is a small ground floor apartment in a skyscraper. Now she's the only one that is living in one of these places. It was furnished. I have upgraded some of the things in here, but it's pretty much just as it was when I opened up the world. I think I might have upgraded her bathroom, but the rest of it's probably as is. As you can see, she's got her Twizzy parked out the front, and she's even got a bar outside. That was already there. Now, when you have a look through her friends, the Sims that she knows, you'll notice that she knows just about everybody. There are Sims that live in this world. There are Sims that live in other worlds, including Mountain Lakes and Appaloosa Plains, and possibly even the World Adventure worlds. This is the difference between a Sim that I've just grabbed out of my library and plonked in the game, and a Sim that has been a part of the main household. The number of other Sims that they know, and the number of skills that they've got. It looks like she's got a lot of fish. She must do a lot of fishing here. I'll have to come back later and empty her inventory. Might have to find a place to put some boxes and cupboards so she can have her inventory emptied. I see she's got a spare bedroom. I could use that. We've seen her earlier in the video, and her previous owner was Mary, the alien daughter of Don, the husband of our founder, Olivia. So she's been in the game for a long time. She probably should be aged up to adult, because I think she is older than Cindy, who is already an adult. That's another job I'm going to do, is come back into this world and go through all of the Sims that I've moved here to make sure their ages are relative to what they should be if they'd have been living in the main household all the time. So in respect to the current age of Cindy, for example, because I think Barbara is still a young adult here, but she should be an adult. And I won't show you me aging them all up, I'll just do it. But I will show you a video that I made while I was working out how to do it. But it's a separate video, you'll see that as a tutorial probably. So now let's move on to the next sim. This one is Leslie Churcher. She was in a household of 8, and I've broken them up and put them each into their own home. The lot is very tiny. It's an 8 by 11 lot, and the house is 6 by 9. It's very small. And I've got this set up where the upper floor is for visitors and the lower floor, the door that lets her go down that staircase, is locked to everybody but her household, basically, which is just her. And she's got all of her storage items. There is the backpack where I put seeds and a cardboard box for whatever. Then she's got the insect cupboard from Supernatural, and also the elixir cupboard from Supernatural. So she's got all she needs. There should be another thing up in the kitchen where she can store her vegetables, and the cardboard box is usually for other items that don't fit into the other things, and the fish go into the cooler or esky. Now, Leslie wasn't home, but I found her at this lot, and there are a few other Sims there. Some you've met and some you haven't. There's Wendy that we've already met. There's Leslie playing the guitar. The plant Sim is Petunia Flower, and she's chatting with her imaginary friend made real, Patricia Flower. Petunia and Patricia are Generation 2 Sims because Petunia is the plant sim daughter of Donna, who is Gary's wife, and Gary was the first child born to Don and Olivia. Olivia is the founder of this perfect genetics challenge, and Patricia is Petunia's imaginary friend made real. Martin Sisithwood is playing the keyboard. He is part of Generation 1, so we probably won't be going into his house. Just going through Leslie. She knows a lot of Sims because she's got 7 ex-housemates that she already knows, plus she's obviously getting out and meeting the locals as well. This is a hotel apparently. It was in the game. It's a community lot. It's Martin. He is one of Don's alien sons. Don had 3 alien sons and 1 alien daughter. Move on to the next household. We'll be going to one of Leslie's ex-housemates. He lives nearby and his name is Ted Fields. And if you've been watching my channel for a long time, you'll know Ted. He has been in a lot of my big game. He was married to Patience and they have children and grandchildren, and it just goes on and on. But here he is. I put him into this household, but he was a new sim when I put him in here. So he doesn't have a lot of skills or experience. He's still a young adult, and he does know Leslie, and obviously he will know a few new ones as well. The house is bigger than than Leslie's house. It's on by a 10 by 16 lot, so I can actually show you a little bit around it at this eye level. I've got it set up so that he can have visitors who can go to the kitchen, bathroom. There's a children's playroom, and there's a small sitting room separated from the children's playroom by a half wall, and a dining room and a small kitchen with Alva vintage appliances, or the fridge, sink and food processor, Alva vintage, and the stove too, I think. And that box at the kitchen, that is for the vegetables. It's a custom content item. I try to put one of them in everybody's kitchen because having their inventories overstuffed with harvestables is capable of slowing the game down to the point where nothing is moving. I've had that happen before. And see, he's got his storage. He's got 2 cardboard boxes, his esky and his backpack, as well as the 2 cupboards from Supernatural, the elixir case and the insect cupboard. He's got his bookcase and some comfortable chairs, but he's obviously enjoying his computer. As you can see, he knows a lot of Sims, but most of them are from his previous household. I dumped the whole 8 of them into a single house and then split them up, so you will meet all of them eventually. And he's only met a couple of Sims from the main households that have been sent here to live. He might have met some other ones that I've added in new as well. So that's about it for Ted. You've seen the looking down on both levels. This is basically how I've tried to set up most of the houses. I get a bit bored sometimes and change things around a bit. I don't always give them exactly the same things, but they usually get all the Elvar vintage fridge, stove, sink and food processor for the kitchen, and they mostly get the same bookcase and TV, plus I give them a few skilling objects as well sometimes. When Barnacle Bay was released, I bought it and then I wanted to play it, and back then I was playing households of 8, so I made a brand new household, and the first sim I made for that household was Betty Babcock, and here she is. In Vice City, Betty lives in a 9 by 12 lot. This house was originally an empty shell, and I have added the rooms and the furnishings. I don't know why I ignored the top level. Maybe I assumed it wasn't there and then discovered it after I had finished decorating the basement. As you can see, I've got it set out and decorated in a similar fashion to Ted's place. Her house has a flat roof. Looks like it's the sun's going down a bit late in the day, but we'll have a quick look around the neighbourhood so you can see what the houses look like that she's living amongst. Some of them are very tiny. And she's downstairs working on her computer. Let's see if we can get to know her a little bit better and see how many Sims she knows. See, she's been painting, she's got an easel, she's got some skill building objects. I've tried to personalise them a bit depending on the Sim's traits. She's gone out and she's got to know a few of the local Sims, and she knows all of the Sims that were in her previous household, and we will meet all of them eventually. So she's been good getting out and about, and there's her esky and cardboard box, a bookcase, TV, and she's got herself a chessboard there. I hang the paintings that I think some of them I like, some of them I think they're just okay. There is the backpack and cardboard box and the Supernatural cabinets for her to store her belongings in. So they all have very similar setups, just working around the size of the lot that the house is on. Oh yes, the paintings, they're there to make sure that she's got, most of them have got an environment value of 9 or 10, and I try to put 2 or 3 of them in each room so that she keeps her happiness up all of the time, and I do that for all of the Sims when I place them in their new homes. I found her downtown the next morning, so we should go and see what was going on there. She's standing outside the little Corsican bistro, and that's Mick Flynn coming in to get something to eat. He wants his breakfast, I suppose. And she's listening to a tabcast. Don't know what of, she did it herself. Yes, we'll have to check all these Sims that are socialising here, having their breakfast at the bistro. It'll give us a hint on how the town is picking up now that I've added so many extra Sims to it, because previously we might find 1 or 2 Sims somewhere around town and that would be it, unless I organised a huge party and invited everybody to it. Next, Don's alien daughter, Mary Sarsithivod, wandered past. She's a Generation 1 Sim. And there's Mick Flynn with his breakfast. He is one of the new Sims, and you will have a look through his house eventually. I'm liking how the town is livening up a bit. There's a few Sims here at the bistro at the moment. Only 2 of them so far are from the main household. Only one on the screen at the moment is one of the Sims from the main household who have moved to this world. And the others are all newbies who I've moved in from my library. So now let's keep going and see who else we can meet and have a look through their house. It's time to move on to the next household, and it looks like it's the Hart household. Dizzy Hart. He is quite a character. That's his house, that little yellow place there, in a whole row of very similar looking houses. He's quite close to the cemetery. Hadn't realised that before. His lot size is 10 by 15, so it's not that tiny, but half of the upper level is taken up with his carport. He's got a motorbike. And here is his downstairs or living area. But he's not home at the moment. He's got all the bits and pieces that he needs, his storage area. There's his cardboard boxes with his backpack and esky, and the supernatural cupboards for his elixirs and gems and insects. I don't know that he's got any at the moment. He's got a bookcase, computer, TV, comfy chair to watch TV, and he's got a game to play there. The others don't. I think he's the only one who's got that game. I thought he might enjoy it on his own. His bedroom with case things in his bath. He's got his own private bathroom downstairs like everybody else. And his bed. He looks like he needs some bedside lamps. Might try to remember to give him them later on. Let's go find out where he is. Found him. He's at work. He works for Hogan's Deep Fried Diner, and this place is just near where the rabbit hole was in the basement for the grocery store. Now this one is on a 39 by 61 lot, so it's not too huge, and it's got 3 rabbit holes in it. Let's have a quick look around. It's called North Point Mall. I can remember years ago I built something like this, but I had a 64 by 64 lot. It was way too big and cumbersome. It's on my in my studio on the Exchange if you want to look at it. But I put a roller coaster through it and a whole lot of savvy seller shops. This has got lots of spaces set aside where you can put savvy seller shops if you want. It might even work because it's half the size of the one I built. There's the diner and there's the bookshop and the day spa. It's got the Sharma Day Spa, De Vestero Budget Books and Hogan's Deep Fried Diner, which is where our man Dizzy Hart is busily at work. Hopefully he can handle the customers. Now Dizzy Hart is another one from Betty Babcock's household of 8 Sims. And when I was playing them in Barnacle Bay, I was just skilling them. It was my game, just getting them skills. And I'd also spend a lot of time just watching what they did autonomously, because that was a lot of fun. But Dizzy Hart used to keep vanishing, and I never knew where he went. Apparently he was getting on his motorbike and going into town, because one day I got notified that I had just been awarded a badge, the Big Meanie badge, for being mean to 200 Sims. So I thought the only thing that could have possibly made that happen was the insane Dizzy Hart, who had kept going into town on his own without my permission. So I'm not sure how long he'll keep his job at the diner. It will be interesting. It's much later now, and there he is. He's finished his shift at the diner, and he's there, just standing there, having a little dance, being his insane self, a little Dizzy Hart. He's got his beast in his pocket. That's his motorbike. It's the beast. Let's get to know him a bit. He's happy. That's Bart Sarsithyavad just walked across behind him. He is a Generation 1 Sim and is the imaginary friend of one of Don's alien sons. I think it could be Max, but I'm not sure. That little kiosk in front of him looks like it could be set up for a flower shop or a gift shop. If you add some savvy seller registers and an owner to it. Wandered off and I've finally tracked him down at the other end of the building, still on the same floor. That sim he just wandered across in the background, that was Dave Brown. He is one of the new arrivals in Vice City. We'll meet him shortly. And the one sitting on the floor there playing that computer game, that is Sonny Ayahod. He is one of Don's alien children. He's actually the youngest of Don's alien children. And he's a Generation 1 sim, of course, because Don is the husband of the founder, Olivia. It looks like Dizzy's going to wander around upstairs for a while. Hopefully he'll come back and sit quietly so we can examine his traits and other useful information. As you can see, there's lots of space to set up savvy seller shops, and there's even a nice quiet spot that you can sit and enjoy the scenery, except Dizzy's put his back to the scenery. He's certainly feeling restless. I'm not telling him what to do, but he just got up and wandered off. And now he's come and sat at a table. Oh, there's Dave Brown and Mateo. Mateo is one of the imaginary friends made real from Generation 1. He's married to Connie, who's another imaginary friend made real. Dave Brown obviously had somewhere else to be, so Mateo is now stuck with having to chat with Dizzy. I hope he enjoys the conversation, and let's check out some of Dizzy's traits. He's got some interesting traits. He knows quite a few Sims. Don't forget he used to live in the 8 Sim household that Betty Babcock came from, and most of the Sims he knows were from that household. But he has met a couple of Sims who were living in this world. He's got a few skills and looks like he's gathered some things that need to get put away in his cupboards. Got to keep the inventory empty, otherwise the game just grinds to a halt. You need to do that every so often in your regular game. Just go through all of the unplayed Sims and get stuff out of their inventories. Your game will run much faster. Don't know why, just the way it was programmed. Once you work that out, you suddenly have a great game to play. I think it's about time to move on. We have had a good look around the North Point Mall. In Australia we would call it a shopping centre, but he's called it a mall. You've seen a few of the local Sims, and I'd like to add that the grocery store across the road, it's got a building above it, but it's just an empty shell. There is nothing inside. And one more thing, in Australia, our malls or shopping centres have the grocery stores inside the shopping centre. I think we've seen enough of Dizzy and the shopping centre. Let's go on to the next Sim who's just moved in, and this is Fiona Brown, and her house is diagonally opposite Dizzy's house. There is his house there, the yellow one, and that's hers that we've just circled. And she's just come home. I don't remember anything much about Fiona. She was just in my library and I grabbed her. The upper level of her house was set up before I worked out how to lock the staircase down to her living area from visitors. And having looked at her now, I'm pretty sure she was just made. She's never been in a game, and her traits lead me to imagine that I perhaps made her when I first started this Perfect Genetics Challenge series, because she looks like a Sim I might have made to be the wife of a male heir in the Perfect Genetics series. Anyway, let's have a look through her house. She is in the military career, but her lifetime wish is a bottomless nectar cellar. So maybe I'll come back here one day and give her the way to make nectar in her basement. At the moment she doesn't have another basement. She needs to go. I need to put her house one level down. But as you can see, she's got all the regular stuff. She's got nothing that was in her inventory. She's got places to store it if she ever gets anything in her inventory. I always try to give them that same bathroom sink and the groovy shower and a good toilet and some toilet paper. So she's got some comfy places to sit, and there is her boxes and the backpack and esky. Bookcase, computer, desk. She can develop her painting skills. She's got an easel, and she's got a spare bedroom upstairs. Let's have a look around upstairs. This is the little entry area. Not all of the houses have got this. This house is a little bit bigger than a lot of them. That's why I can show you around like this. There's the kitchen. Alvar vintage as usual. Gave her some curtains don't always do that. And the dining area is like it's kitchen dining area combined. I could probably put a wall around that circular staircase and put a door in it to lock visitors out. There's an upstairs bathroom as well. Now let's have a look at some of her personal details before we move on to the next sim. Yeah, she's got traits that I probably would have given to a potential wife of an heir, because I need somebody who is going to be happy to have lots of babies. And she's met a few sims since she's been here, and there's 2 of them are Generation 1 sims. There's Bill, who was the father of Generation 2, and she's met 2 of the other new arrivals in town. And that's the only sims that she knows. And she probably knows Ted because they're both in the military career. And I just checked. Philip Vella is in the military career too. We'll be meeting him shortly. So that's it for Fiona. Let's move on to the next one. The next sim we're going to get to meet is Hayley Dancer. She lives just a little distance away from Fiona, but I thought I'd go and get her in case I forgot, because she's a bit out of the way. Hayley lives on a 17 by 20 lot, and her house was fully furnished. I have simply changed a few items. That's the view from her front door. Hayley is from a household of 7 sims, and she has been played. She's got lots of skills and lifetime happiness points and things like that. Her previous housemates yet, but we have seen them around town. The 2 we've seen are Mick Flynn and Dave Brown, but she has 7 in total, so we've got to meet quite a few, and we will be meeting some of them soon. I actually skipped Mick Flynn's place by accident, so we'll have to go back to him later. He lives quite close to the base camp, but the others are in the general area, living near where Fiona lives, in that group of houses. This house was fully furnished. She's got a spare bedroom. I've left it alone, haven't touched it at all. And she's supposedly got the main bedroom, but I suspect she'll sleep. Oh, she's sleeping in that bed by the look of it. They usually go for one of the single beds. I put that chair there and I added that bookcase. I didn't put the phone on the wall, that was already there. That door goes into the bathroom, which I did up, put my own shower and toilet and bathroom sink in there. There's another room behind the bathroom, and it's in the very corner of the building. And it's got a treadmill, an easel, a mirror, a pot plant, and a computer sitting on a desk with a chair. I think it's just a little room that she can use when she wants to do various activities. And that's it for the upstairs level. We need to do downstairs next. But first, here comes Hayley. We might as well check out her details while she works on the computer. First, we'll look at her traits. I made her a really long time ago, probably maybe 10 years ago, I can't remember. And I don't think she's got any third-party custom content on her, and neither would any of her ex-housemates have any, because I made them before I started putting that content into my game. So her best friend is Eva Lyons, who was in her old household, and then there's Adam Watkins, who is also from her old household, and Bobby Walker is a Generation 1 sim, an imaginary friend made real. Denise Walker Williamson is a Generation 2 sim. Barbara Sasithyavod is a Generation 1 imaginary friend made real. Raina Cooper is Bobby Walker's partner, and they have 2 children, and Raina was a townie sim from Mountain Lakes. They moved to Vice City from Mountain Lakes. And then there's Sonny Ayahod. We saw him earlier playing a computer game in the mall with Dizzy Hart. And Sonny is Don's youngest alien son. He's a Generation 1 sim. Then there's Lance Ayahod. He is Sonny's imaginary friend made real. Then there's Kevin Carter, who is a single sim that I pulled in from my library. Wyn Holden is an imaginary friend made real. I have her in my library, and she originated in the 30 Grandchildren series. Wynne lives in the house that Barbara Sarsithivod moved out of. Then there's Cleo Baker. She is a former member of Hayley's previous household of 8. And Pearl Graham is another sim from their previous household of 8, as is Dave Brown and Mick Flynn. We are going to meet most of these sims in the next few sims that we meet. So now we have had a look at all of her friends and acquaintances, and we'll continue on looking at her other personal details and then have a very quick look around the first floor of her home. She's got quite a lot of skills for a sim that I've just put into the game. That's because she's been played as a part of that earlier household. And I find giving them as many lifetime rewards as possible makes the sim much more interesting to play, because they do different things depending on the various rewards they've received. Okay, so now let's go outside and come back in through the front door and then have a quick look around downstairs. So this is the room that you come into when you go in the front door. It's just a sitting room there's a box with the backpack and the 2 supernatural cupboards, and another box with the esky on it. The esky's for her fish, the backpack is for the seeds, and the boxes are for whatever needs to go in them. There should be another container in the kitchen for the vegetables. That's all custom content. And of course I've changed the kitchen appliances for Alvar Vintage. And then there is a green dining room just off the kitchen. I don't think I've done much to that. I might have put some extra paintings on the walls, but that's about it. There's a door there to go into the bathroom. I upgraded the bathroom for that sink and toilet and shower. And then back to the entrance. See the stairs that go upstairs. And then from the kitchen door, we can go outside to the barbecue area. And that door goes into the kitchen. I did nothing to the barbecue area. And so that's it for Hayley. She seems to be doing a really good job mixing with the sims in the world. Let's move on to the next sim that I've just added to the game. Time to move on. There's a drain behind her, and that's yellow house there is Dizzy's house, and there is the cemetery and Fiona's house, and now we're going to go to the one with the red roof, which is the new sim that we're going to visit. Meet Pearl Parker. She wants to be an alchemy artisan, so I foolishly gave her a garden. And now I'm going to have to keep an eye on her as she constantly fills her inventory and slows the game down. She lives on a 10 by 13 lot, so her house is quite small but not extremely tiny, but it's not a lot of room either. I made sure that she has all of the basic plants that are required for alchemy, and she's got a few other harvestables as well. Her death flower plants are dead and she doesn't have the skill to revive them. I think we could perhaps check out her personal details. Her traits are over-emotional, technophobe, loves the outdoors, vegetarian, and green thumb. At least she's got the green thumb trait. All she needs to do now is get her gardening skill up to level 5, and she will be able to revive her death flower plants. Because when a plant is dead, it is able to be revived. It's when it's barren that you need to get rid of it. She's only got 2 sims that she knows. They are Cleo Baker and Pearl Graham, and both of those sims are from the household that Hayley Dancer came from. Hayley and Cleo look the same because they share a distinctive hairstyle, but they are 2 different sims. There's lots of harvestables in Pearl's inventory. I'll have to come back into her household later on and move them to various storage. I'll put the plants that came with Supernatural, the alchemy plants, into the Supernatural elixir storage, and the other harvestables can go into the storage container she's got in her kitchen. So, she's obviously a new sim. She's only got 2 skills that are not very advanced, level 1 or level 2. and her career is in the alchemy career, so she doesn't need to leave the house for any reason by the look of it. So maybe she's going to become a recluse and only know Sims she comes across on the rare occasions when she leaves the house voluntarily. Now let's have a quick look around the house. As you go in through the front door, you go straight into the kitchen and dining area, and that box in the corner is for the storage of her harvestables. I have replaced the kitchen appliances with Alvar Vintage. If this house was already furnished, I've just upgraded a few things and left a lot of it as it was. Through that door in the kitchen, there's a bathroom, and there is the sink and toilet paper. I don't think I changed that at all. It's probably just as it was. There's a bathtub as well. And then another door from the kitchen leads into a small sitting room, which is very difficult for me to show you from this angle. There it is. So there's a chair in the sitting room. There's a small TV up on the wall as well for them to watch. She can watch it while she's sitting in that chair. And there is another door there, goes outside, and you'll come to a very tiny barbecue area. Don't know why she would want a barbecue. There's nowhere to sit out there near it. And now we can go downstairs and see where she lives. There's her storage containers. She's got her esky and her backpack, some boxes, the supernatural cabinets, and she's got an alchemy table there so she can learn her alchemy, and it looks like a chess table so she can play chess with herself if she wants to. She's got a bathroom and a bedroom on this level as well. I suspect that I added this floor because that's the sort of thing I've been doing for all of the houses, and if I didn't, she wouldn't have had anywhere to sleep because there's no bedroom upstairs. But that is her computer and desk and bookcase. She's got another chair she can sit in when she wants to read, and then her bedroom is all light green, go with her desire to have lots of plants to make her alchemy. And then down below that, the second basement is her garden. If she can just get up to level 5 in gardening, she'll be able to revive those dead death flower plants. And here we are looking down from the roof down to that's the first level, ground level, and now her living level area there with a bathroom and bedroom and other things, and then finally the garden. And that's it. We can head off to next door. One of the two Sims she knows lives right next door to her, so we'll go there next. Cleo Baker lives in a house with a dark grey roof. She lives right next to Pearl's place, and Cleo is on a 10 by 11 lot. Not very big, but there are smaller lots that Sims are living on in this world. She's been played. She's from a household of 7 Sims. She's one of 7. Her traits are natural cook, handy, friendly, green thumb, and brave. Green thumb, there was one time when I used to make sure most of my Sims had a green thumb trait. I had a household of Sims, one of them would have to have a green thumb just to be able to revive dead plants. And I rushed them up to level 5 gardening skill so they could actually do it. Her friends include Evil Lions, who was a previous housemate and is also her boss and her best friend. The next one is Adam Watkins, who's another best friend from her previous household. Dave Brown, a distant friend, and he's also from her previous household. Then there's Les Brown, who is no relation to Dave, and he is from my library, and he is living here with a family, a wife and children. We'll meet them shortly. Then there's Bill Walker Williamson, who is of course the father of Generation 2. Petunia Flower Walker, one of the Generation 1 Sims that we've seen before. Byron Walker Williamson, an imaginary friend made real of Daryl Walker Williamson, and he is a Generation 2 Sim. Mary Sarsithyavod, Don's alien daughter, Generation 1 Sim. Mick Flynn, who is one of Cleo's previous household members. Pearl Parker, her next door neighbour we've just been meeting. And finally, Hayley Dancer, who we met earlier, and another of Cleo's previous household members. Oh, and she also knows Wendell Borseglio, who is quite a character. We'll meet him and his housemate, shortly. She seems to have completely forgotten another one of her previous housemates, that is Pearl Graham. I was wondering if the game might have kicked Pearl out of town, but she's still there, so I don't know why Cleo doesn't remember her. She's got a few skills at various levels. This is because, of course, she's been played before. One of the things I used to do when I used to play households full of young adults was to just get them as skilled as possible. When they had quite a few skills, I would get tired of them and I would stop playing and make another household of 8 young adults. That's how I got so many households of 8 young adults full of skills. But she only had 7 young adults in her household. I have no idea why. Her inventory is as empty as I would love it to be. I wish they all had inventories like that. And I have emptied her harvestables and other items into her storage containers. As you can see, she didn't have much in her inventory, just a couple of seeds and some metal bars. But most of them have got nothing in them in their containers, so I don't bother showing it to you. The dining area is where you walk into the house, and there's the kitchen, Alvar vintage as usual. There is a bathroom on this level that I've upgraded the bathroom, sink and toilet, etc. And then she's got her sitting room where she's sitting reading, and then we'll go downstairs and have a look at her bedroom and her computer and other storage equipment and her second bathroom. And then we'll just quickly look from the top down to see how her house is laid out. And then we'll move on to the next sim. So this is downstairs. I discovered that easy chair there in her, and it's about the most comfortable chair that they have, so I'd like to put it in all these houses. Into her second bathroom. I tend to try to put towel rails in, and I usually grab the first one I can find. I find it's difficult to find towel rails. So this is the top floor where she is at the moment, and then this is the bottom floor with her bed, bathroom. Remember, this is a small lot. The lot itself is a 10 by 11 lot, so there's not much room in the rooms. And then this is the outside of her house. And next door is the home of another of Cleo Baker's previous household of 7 Sims. This is Eva Lyon. And Eva Lyon's other neighbour is Fiona Brown, but she doesn't seem to know Fiona. Now, Eva wasn't at home when I got there, and I found her on the other side of the town playing her guitar in the shell of a hotel. There was no decor, no lighting, no nothing, but I decided I would show you anyway because a whole lot of Sims turned up to watch her, and I thought it would be a chance for you to see some of the other Sims living in this town. There's a few Sims there that you will know, and some that you're soon to meet. That is Wyn Holden. She is an imaginary friend made real that I brought in from the 30 Grandchildren Challenge. And that's Mary Sarsitheevod in her culinary career outfit. Everybody suddenly started to leave. They arrived, didn't stay long, and left. So let's go to Eva's place and have a look at it. Eva lives on a 12 by 15 lot. Her next door neighbours on either side of her house are Fiona Brown and Cleo Baker. And the 4th house in this group of 4 in this little block is occupied by Pearl Parker. And the only one of them that Eva knows is her ex-housemate, Cleo Baker. She hasn't met the other 2 ladies yet. And directly opposite Eva's house is the criminal headquarters. I guess she didn't realise that was there when she moved in. Uh-oh, that was Witch Wenzel turning up for work. He is one of the criminals that she hasn't met yet. But you haven't met him yet either, but we will soon come across his home. He's a sim I made within the last couple of years, just for fun. On this bright, sunny spring morning, Eva had an early breakfast in her red dining room, and then she decided to go out the front and play her guitar. She was still in her sleepwear, but of course, being a sim, that didn't bother her at all. She soon set up in her front yard, and it wasn't long before she had an audience. Her old housemate, her next-door neighbour, Cleo Baker, soon showed up and enjoyed the performance. Eva loves music. She's a virtuoso and she's mastered the guitar skill and the piano and is at level 5 with the bass. So expect to see music if ever you come across her in town. I think it's time for us to have a quick look around her house. While she's out here playing the guitar for her friend. Everything is as usual. In this house, this is one of the ones that I'd set up where she can lock the stairs, the spiral staircase to go down to her actual living area, thereby allowing her to entertain guests upstairs where they'll find the kitchen, dining room, bathroom, children's playroom and a sitting room where they can talk. And of course in the kitchen I've put Alvar Vintage. I recoloured her harvestable storage. I made it white instead of the usual light brown. I'll try to show you the best I can, but the house is very small and the rooms are very small as well. This house was already furnished. I just changed things around a bit and added a couple of basements and upgraded the kitchen appliances and the bathroom fixtures and added the children's play items and just generally redecorated. The dining room was already red and I just decided to keep it red. She got a few extra bits and pieces upstairs, some more decor than others, and I got a bit carried away downstairs as well, I think. And here is her downstairs area. There's her computer and a computer desk, comfy chair, bookcase, there's a piano so she can play, and a TV, chessboard, artist's easel. You might like to try to copy some of the paintings she's got hanging on the wall, see if she can learn some of the techniques of the old masters, and the usual storage items. But she's also got some nectar storage areas there, but she doesn't have any nectar. I thought she might have a nectar making facilities downstairs, but she doesn't, because she's got another level downstairs to go, the bathroom and her bedroom. I like those lights, the bedside lights. I love that, quite pretty. Don't use them very often. She's got a blue bathroom as well. She's got a different shower to what they usually get. I'd say custom content one, and a tub. And downstairs, well, I suppose this was going to be empty area. She's got one grow mat that you can plant into, and that's it, and a seat that she can sit on, and a recycling bin where she can put her rubbish. Now we will have a look and check out her personal details, and then we'll be able to move on to the next sim. I brought her down here to sit in this chair, especially so we can just look at what she's got. This is her usual everyday outfit. Her traits are virtuoso, friendly, green thumb, brave and great kisser. And the relationships, the first few are from her original household: Adam Watkins, Cleo Baker, Dave Brown, Mick Flynn, Hayley Dancer and Pearl Graham. And then we come to other Sims that she's met around town since she's been in the game. First one would be Bobby Walker. He is a Generation 1 Sim. I think he is Cindy's imaginary friend made real. He is married with children. Daryl Walker Williamson is a Generation 2 Sim. He is one of the first set of twins that Cindy and Bill had. Then Lana Walker Williamson is an imaginary friend made real of Donna. Donna is the head of Generation 3, and she won't be moving out of the main household. Then we've got other Sims from the library. Philip Vella. Phyllis Brown is here with her husband Les Brown. They have children. We'll meet them shortly. Then there's Philippa Mermaid, who we have already met, and Dizzy Hart and Wyn Holden, who I've introduced to this game from the 30 Grandchildren series of videos. Eva's lifetime wish is to become a one sim band that requires her to master the drums, the bass, the guitar and the piano. And as you can see, she's already mastered the guitar and the piano, and she's halfway to mastering the bass. So I guess I'd better buy her a drum kit eventually. She doesn't have a lot in her inventory, but she's got her bass in there. She's got a few lifetime rewards, and I think it's time that we have a look at her house from the roof down and then move on to the next sim. And now it's time to move on to the next household. And the next sim we're going to find is living nearby, just across the street from Pearl Parker. And it is going to be Tammy Wilson. Now, Tammy wasn't at home when I activated her. She was visiting the Noble Tome Library, so that's where she is. This is a rabbit hole that has not been buried in the basement, which is interesting. I suppose because you can get inside and it probably fits in with the look of the town. Now, Tammy is from the library, and in the library she is a member of an 8-sim household. It's the Babcock household. We've already met 4 of the sims from that household. Her traits are flirty, friendly, brave, adventurous, and great kisser. She knows 12 sims, and of course 7 of them are from her original household. The sims she knows are Ted Fields, best friend, who was from her original household, Mateo Walker, an imaginary friend made real, and he is Generation 1 sim, Betty Babcock, good friend, who is from her original household, Rainier Cooper is a Generation 1 sim. She came from Mountain Lakes, and she is Bobby Walker's partner. The 5th sim she knows is Connie Walker, another imaginary friend made real, and she is the wife of Mateo, the Generation 1 sims. Then she knows Bill Walker Williamson. He is the father of Generation 2 sims and the husband of Cindy. Then there's Walter Thompson, a member of her original household, and Dizzy Hart and Leslie Churcher. You have already met Dizzy and Leslie, and they're both members of the Babcock household. And then she knows Wendy Hope and Marty Hanson, also members of the Babcock household that I took from my library and placed into the game. Gave me 8 extra sims with skills that I really needed in the game and who knew each other really well. And finally, Wenzel Wazeligo, who is a criminal, so I suppose she's met him through her work, because she's in the law enforcement career. Level 7 and a crime scene technician. She's got quite a few skills, but she really needs to work on her logic because of her job. Her lifetime wish is seasoned traveller, which means she needs to get the maximum visa level for all 3 destinations, China, France, and Egypt. Now we know a bit about her personally. Let's go check out her house. She's on a 9x15 lot, and I have at least redecorated it, added a couple of basements, and I've changed the ground floor significantly. I'm not sure if it was just an empty shell or if I did the whole thing myself. She's come home now. Let's have a look. There's Dizzy's place up the street there, the yellow place. And across the back there, she's got that drain, and Haley Dancer's house with the outdoor barbecue area. And then directly across the street from where she lives is the group of 4 houses that we've just finished looking through, meeting the Sims living in those 4 houses. Now let's have a quick look through her house. She's got 2 basements now. It's a very small house. A car takes up quite a bit of space for the ground floor. When you go in the front door, you go straight into the kitchen and the dining area. She's sitting there working on her computer at the moment. And again, Alvar vintage kitchen appliances. And this place is set up so she can have visitors and entertain them. They've got kitchen, dining, a bathroom, a children's play area, and a small sitting room on this level. And there's a small bathroom on the ground floor as well. And then there's a door in the children's play area that she can lock that door to everybody but herself, and then she can go downstairs to her living area below. On her first basement level, she has a big TV and comfortable seating area, a Domino's table, a desk with a computer and a chair and a bookcase, as well as her bedroom and her private bathroom. And then since I'd given her a second basement below this one, and I decided she might as well use it, so that's where I put all of her storage containers, her esky and backpack, cardboard boxes, and the supernatural cupboards. She's got a whole floor to add whatever new junk she wants to acquire, if I ever play her again. Tammy is one of the Sims that I made many years ago. She has not got custom content on her. But now it's time to move on to the next household and meet one more Sim. Tammy's next door neighbour is Pearl Graham. Pearl came from my library as a part of a 7-Sim household, so she knows 6 other Sims from that household, plus a few that she's met since she's moved into the neighbourhood. But she wasn't at home when I activated her house, so let's go see where she is. We might spot a few other locals. The first Sim we come across is Connie Walker. We've seen her before. The next one is Holly Hunter. She is a brand new Sim I made especially for this game, and she's a witch. We'll be meeting her at her home shortly. And there is Pearl Graham in the shorts, just standing there, admiring the view. It's Riley Walker Williamson. He is a Generation 2 Sim. He is Denise's imaginary friend made real, and they're having a relationship. That little boy there with the imaginary friend doll, he is the son of Connie Walker and her husband Mateo. They're imaginary friends made real. Of course, their son was born in game, and they are Generation 1 Sims. Now, Riley's got up the chat with Holly, and a new Sim's arrived. We'll be meeting him soon. He's another Sim out of my library. His name is Kevin Carter, and like most of the Sims I've just added from my library, I haven't played him for years, so he's pretty old, but this version of him I think is quite new. Our Pearl's heading off home, so we'll go there and catch up with her at home. And that Sim just arriving is Mick Flynn. He is from the library, and he was in a household. I think it was a household of 8. That is Martin Sasithivod, Don's alien son. He's a Generation 1 Sim. Pearl obviously doesn't own a car if she's got to travel home by taxi, and here she is at her front door. Pearl's house is on a small lot. It's the 8 by 14 lot. When she walks in the front door, she comes into her combined kitchen and dining area. She's got her harvestable storage container in the corner there, Alvar vintage kitchen appliances. There's a small sitting room just off from the kitchen dining area, and that door goes into a very small bathroom. You'll have to just see that from above when I show you the down looking. Her sitting room doubles as her office and reading room, and it also contains the spiral staircase that takes her down to her sleeping level. I'd say that this house would have been partially furnished because I definitely did not put that decor on the walls. The way this house is set up, she cannot lock her visitors out of her basement areas. The only way would be to lock the front door and not let anybody in. So this is her top basement where she has her storage. There's her storage containers, the boxes, the esky for the fish that she's caught, and the backpack for the seeds she's found. Insects and gems, etc. get stored in this supernatural cupboards. She's obviously had a lot of nectar in her inventory. This will be where I got the idea of adding the nectar cases to a house. It's very cramped down here, but I managed to squeeze in a chest table for her. There's a tent they rolled up on the floor for when she goes exploring. She's obviously been off exploring other worlds because she's got lots of stuff there that she's got stored on shelves that she's found in tombs in the World Adventure Worlds. She has her bedroom and a bathroom. Both rooms are furnished in a similar manner to everybody else's bedrooms and bathrooms, just that they're a little bit smaller. And finally, her second basement, the one that's under this level, is completely dark and totally undecorated. She will definitely get the unfinished room moodlet if she ever ventures down there. She's another one without a ceiling. You see the tiny little bathroom there? And this is the living area and her bottom dark basement. Now we'll just have to look at her personal details. By the way, those boxes that I give them as storage, she might have some artifacts that she has gathered. If they weren't the sort of things that would fit on the shelves they would be in those boxes. Her traits are photographer's eye, friendly, green thumb, brave and adventurous. All useful traits. And now her relationship panel. Adam Watkins is from her original household. Eva Lyons is also from her original household, and so is Dave Brown. Wendy Hope came from another household. Philip Vella is just from my library. Pearl Parker is from my library. Mick Flynn and Hayley Dancer, also from her original household. And that is all the Sims that she knows at the moment. But she hasn't been in the world for very long yet. And I'm still wondering why Pearl and Cleo Baker don't know each other, because they both came from the same household of 7 Sims, and they know all of the other household members. She's in the photography career. That should help her get a lifetime wish. I don't hold her any actual hope for getting it though. And she's got quite a few skills, but nothing really highly developed. Looks like she's been busy fishing since I placed her in the world, because she's got some fish in her inventory now. I think it's time to move on to the next door neighbour. She's got a few neighbours going all the way along to the end of this group of houses, and then we'll come back to Philip Vella after we've met next few Sims in this row of houses. I like my Sims to get lots of lifetime happiness rewards. That is why I've got so many paintings hanging around their houses. Their environment points add up the Sims happy. I usually choose paintings with an environment value of either 9 or 10. Walter Thompson lives next door to Pearl Graham, and he's got a small house, and his lot size is 8 by 15. Makes it very difficult for me to give you certain views of the rooms in that house. Walter is at home. He can lock the access to his spiral staircase so he can entertain his guests up on the ground floor, and they don't have access to the lower levels. He drives a gold-coloured ute. In Australia we call them a ute. UTE, short for utility truck. This type of vehicle is an Australian invention. It happened when a farmer's wife wrote to a vehicle manufacturer and asked that they manufacture a vehicle that she could drive to church on Sunday and take the pigs to market on Monday. And that's what they came up with. As you go through the front door, you come into a very tiny sitting area. And on the right is a kitchen and dining area. And Walter's hungry, so he's going to have something to eat, which is going to heat up in his microwave. As usual, his kitchen appliances are mostly Elva vintage, except for the microwave. I give them random microwaves, whichever's the first one I find in my buy mode, so I don't know what type of microwave it is. While Walter is eating, I'll try to show you around the house, but you won't be able to see a lot due to the tiny size of all of the rooms. He's got 3 levels, and he can lock his guests out of the basements because it's got a separate room for his spiral staircase to go down. It looks like he's finished his microwave meal. I hope he enjoyed it. He was hungry before. He's got 2 basement levels, and in the upper basement he's got the usual storage items. A sitting room with a big TV, computer desk, bookcase, bedroom and bathroom. The bedroom and bathroom are both smaller than usual, so not easy to show you what they look like, but he's just got the usual fixtures in the bathroom and his storage. The only thing he's got in storage looks like a ruby that has been cut, and there's some ruby dust as well. Doesn't seem to be able to settle. In Australia you'd say he's got ants in his pants, as he keeps getting up and doing something different. He won't just sit and stick at the one thing. Now his spiral staircase will take us down to the next level, where he's got his nectar making equipment. Doesn't seem to have made any nectar. He's got all the grapes he needs. That's the only things he's got in his garden. The sprinklers don't seem to actually water anything, so I haven't put them down here. It's just a distraction. They go down and play. Now let's get to meet Walter and his characteristics. He was made for the household that I got him out of the library in. It would be the Babcock household. I've had him for a really long time, and I've played him in several other games. His traits are couch potato, neat, bookworm, green thumb and frugal. And his relationships, he knows quite a few Sims. Firstly, it's Marty Hanson and Dizzy Hart and Ted Fields are all from his original household. He's met Bill Walker Williamson, who is the father of Generation 2 Sims, and Byron Walker Williamson, who is an imaginary friend made real from Generation 2, and Petunia Flower Walker. Now she always confuses me, but I'm pretty sure she's Generation 2 because her stepfather is a Generation 1 Sim. Mary Sarsith Uvod is a Generation 1 Sim. Now Tammy Wilson, Wendy Hope, Leslie Churcher and Betty Babcock are all from his original household. And then there's Dave Brown, who is from another household. We've talked about him before. Now Walter is in the nectar making career, he's level 1. He's only got 3 skills, but he's got them at a fairly high level, so that's good. Hasn't got much in his inventory, which is also very good. And he's not got much in the way of lifetime happiness or lifetime rewards. But I'm sure if I ever get to play him again, he'll make more of them. We'll leave Walter and move on to his next door neighbour, who is his former housemate, Wendy Hope. And hers is the corner house, the last one in this row of houses. After finishing with Wendy, we'll go across the street. Wendy came from my library as a part of the Babcock household, and we've met all but one member of that household after meeting Wendy. Wendy lives on an 8 by 14 lot, so her rooms are quite small. The kitchen, dining and sitting room areas are just all open plan, and she is able to lock the door to the spiral staircase. So if she has visitors, they can come into the house upstairs but not get downstairs. I see that she is one of several Sims who I gave a Twizzy to, so she's got a little car to drive around in. It's fun to see those little cars zipping around the world. Let's go indoors and have a bit of a look around. As you walk in the front door, you come into the open plan kitchen, dining and sitting rooms. There's her bookcase. There is a bathroom on this level as well. That door next to the bookcase is the entry to the upstairs bathroom. And Alvar Vintage kitchen appliances as usual. I say this place was partially furnished because that table and chairs is in all of the houses in this part of the world. Now there's the bathroom through that door, so she can have visitors in the kitchen, dining, sitting room and the upstairs bathroom. She doesn't have a children's play area. I must have decided there wasn't enough room for that, so hopefully her visitors won't have children with them. Her lifetime wish is Great Explorer. She needs to fully explore 6 tombs in each location, and her traits are obviously chosen appropriate to that lifetime wish. She's born saleswoman, natural cook, loves the outdoors, brave and adventurous. Her relationships are mostly from her original household. They are Ted Fields and Marty Hanson, both from the original household. We've still got to meet Marty, that'll happen shortly. Martin Sarsithuvod, who is Don's alien son and is Generation 1 Sim. Then there's Dizzy Hart, Betty Babcock, Walter Thompson, Tammy Wilson, who are all from her original Babcock household. Then Pearl Graham, who's from another multi-Sim household. And finally Leslie Churcher, we've met and is from the Babcock household. Wendy is in the medical career. She's at level 1, an organ donor. She's got a few skills. Most of them are about halfway up. She's done better in some than others. Nothing much in her inventory, just the things that I like to leave there. She's got a few lifetime rewards which are useful. And that's about it. Now let's go and check out the rest of her house. That's the locked door that she will go through to go down the spiral staircase to her private living area. And she's got her storage items down here. She's got all the usual things, a TV and a comfy chair to watch it, and her chess board, and her boxes and cupboards to put her stuff in. And she's also got her bedroom and private bathroom down here. That's the bathroom. And her bedroom. And she's got another basement, which is at least partially decorated. She won't get an unfinished room moodlet down there, but she doesn't have anything else in it at this point. If I ever play her, I'm sure I'll add things down here. So that's it for Wendy. We'll have to move across the road now to the next sim. Wendy's neighbour from across the street wasn't home when I went looking for him. I found him at the beach. His name is Adam Watkins, and he came from my library in a household of 7 sims. We have met most of the other sims in his previous household. We'll just have a quick look through his personal details and see what we can find out about him. The first thing I noticed about him is he has completed his lifetime wish, golden tongue, golden fingers, which required him to master the charisma and guitar skills, and he's done that. Got a phone call from his best friend Dave Brown, so he's chatting on the phone at the moment. Let's check out his personal details, starting with his traits. His traits are born salesman, star quality, charismatic, virtuoso, and friendly. Let's have a look at his relationships. Most of them, or all of the first 5 of them are from his original household of 7, and they are Evil Lyons, a best friend, Pearl Graham, best friend, Dave Brown, best friend that he's talking to on the phone at the moment, Hayley Dancer, a good friend, and then he has got to know Les Brown, an acquaintance who's also a band member, and Wendy Worthy, who we met ages ago, and finally the final member of his previous household, Mick Flynn. His career is the music career where he's level 1, a fan. We've had a look at his skills. You can see he got to level 10 in charisma and guitar, and he's got a few other skills as well. So he's been played a bit in his previous game, not in this one. Now he's going to play the guitar and hide behind those bushes. Now he's got a few things in his inventory. He's obviously been fishing since he's been here. He's caught sea bat starfish and anchovy jellyfish, and he's got a drum kit in his inventory as well as his guitar. So that's inventory's okay, and he's got a few lifetime rewards which make him a slightly more interesting sim to play. Now we'll go and check out his house. It's a bit different from the ones you've seen before. I'll have to block his guitar playing because that's why I put music in my videos. I was getting copyright strikes constantly, even for just half a second of music from the game. Somebody would claim copyright, and I'd have to go in and delete my audio part of the video. So I just put music from the audio library now to solve that problem. So this is Adam's house, and the houses just next to him, the one with the red roof is Dave Brown's place, and the other one on the other side of Dave's place is where Philip Vella lives. We haven't met Dave or Philip yet, but they'll be next. This one is on a 12 by 15 lot. So this is Adam's front door, and its entry is to sort of a very long narrow room with his storage items in it, and he's got an easel there that he could use to paint if he wants to, and a chessboard. So his visitors will come in that front door, and then they'll go up this spiral staircase to the rest of his house. The other rooms on this ground level are his bedroom and his private bathroom. That's his bedroom. I got carried away. He's got lacy curtains. This house was partially furnished before I got to it, but of course I changed a lot of things. I think I changed just about everything downstairs. He's got blinds on his bathroom window. I try to make sure everybody gets the groovy shower and the same vanity basin, and then I give them a good bathtub, and the toilet is usually the same, but I think he's got a different toilet to what most of them get. I think that vanity is from mid-century set, but I'm not sure. Mirror came in the same set as the vanity. There's a spiral staircase to take you upstairs. We come upstairs to the kitchen and dining area. Here's storage for his harvestables there. I've recoloured it green. It's got a few more decor objects than most of the others. Okay, that door takes you out to his little landing, a little patio thing. I thought I'd better put something on it. This house was originally built slightly different. I've changed the architecture a bit. I think it was sort of initially looking like it was really meant to have 2 front doors and potentially 2 different Sims living in it, like a unit block or something. I've got the Alvar vintage kitchen appliances. The cupboards with those green checked tops, that was in here already. So was the dining table and chairs. I just upgraded the appliances and I recoloured the Alvar vintage fridge so it's green and cream instead of blue and cream. I didn't recolour the microwave. I'm not even sure what type of microwave it is. But he seems to have everything everybody else has got except for a TV. So maybe I'll come back one day and give him a TV. No point doing it at the moment because the game has already progressed past this point and anything changes I make he will not go into the eventual game. Just see his bookcase there, the same bookcase that everybody else has got. And his bathroom. He's got toilet paper here. Yeah, the design of different houses when they were made makes a difference as to what I did with them when I was decorating them. It still makes the rooms pretty pokey, but I think he's got more room than most of the Sims, but he doesn't get a basement. So that's it for Adam. We'll move on to Dave Brown next. This is Dave's home. He lives on a 12 by 13 lot. It was partially furnished before he moved in and I redecorated and changed things around a bit. When you go in the front door you come to the little sitting room. His house is set up for visitors so they can't get downstairs. So he is currently sitting in his front room, the living room, sitting room, whatever you want to call it, and he's reading a book on his tablet. This room is a place where he can relax or sit and chat with any visitors he might get. The next room at the front of the house is his kitchen and it was already furnished. I have replaced the appliances, mostly with Alvar vintage. And through from the kitchen is the dining room. This was furnished already as well, but I have added his harvestable storage item in this room. I don't think there was room for it in the kitchen. And there is a small bathroom off from the dining room. And he's got a room for the visiting children. He's not married, doesn't have children of his own. So that's the children's playroom. And the door that goes through from the children's playroom goes into a small room which has got the spiral staircase. That door is locked and he can just go down those steps to his private area where visitors are not allowed. He's obviously been travelling to other worlds. He's got some relics that he's brought home. There's his comfy chair and TV, and he's got trees growing through his floor. I'll have to fix that. Couple of apple trees. He's got another basement below and he got a garden there. Computer, desk and bookcase, easel, couple of spare tents in the corner, and this is his downstairs basement. I think he just likes gardening and that's why I've put it here. And it's a silly thing to plant a couple of apple trees down here though, because with basements you can't make them extra high. They're going to have to come out and live outdoors. And of course he's got his bedroom and bathroom on this level. He's got all the storage items that he needs that everybody else has got. And now we will go and have a look at the house from the top down. He's on a 12 by 13 lot. And now it's time to check out some of his personal details. His lifetime wish is leader of the free world. He's currently in the political career at level 8, and his job is governor. And his traits are flirty, charismatic, bookworm, friendly, and great kisser. And his relationships are mostly from his original 7-sim household that I got from my library. But his boss and best friend is Kevin Carter, who is a sim that you haven't met yet, but he just came from my library. And then Eva Lyons and Adam Watkins are also best friends from his original household. And then Bill Walker Williamson is the father of Generation 2. He knows a lot of Sims in town. We're not going to be dealing with Bill's details though, because he lives in the main household back in Appaloosa Plains. And there's Cleo Baker and Pearl Graham and Hayley Dancer, who are all from his original household, and Leslie Churcher, who is from the Betty Babcock household. His career, it looks like he needs to improve his charisma skill. He does have quite a few skills at fairly high levels, but he needs to work on his charisma. He doesn't have a lot of skills, but there's a few there at various levels. Some of them are quite high, some have barely started. Looks like he's been fishing since I put him into this house. He's caught a few fish. One constant thing is when you're playing a game, you need to go through all your townies and empty the inventories regularly, or the game will just seize up and Sims will stop doing anything. He's got a nice little collection of lifetime rewards, and that is it for Dave. Now we can move on to Philip Vella, who lives right next door. The houses in this neighbourhood are becoming quite familiar, and there is the criminal headquarters off there in the background. I think that Philip's house is the last one we're going to look at right in this immediate vicinity. That's him on the corner. We've met the Sims and all of the other houses surrounding him, but he wasn't home. He was here in this little central location. It reminds me of a bus stop that we used to have in Brisbane, Australia, but that's gone now, been replaced by an underground bus station and pedestrian mall above. And there he is, sitting on the seat, and the Sim standing there near him is Hayley Dancer. Philip came out of my library as a single Sim. He's been played quite often in various games, but he was originally made as a separate individual. He's pretty old. I think I probably would have made him around 2010, 2011, something like that, because he's been in quite a few the different games over the years. Philip's lifetime wish is Great Explorer. He needs to fully explore 6 tombs in each of the 3 World Adventures locations. His traits are brave, adventurous, great kisser, friendly and angler. I think I remember I used to give a lot of them the great kisser traits, because if they kissed anybody, that other Sim would get a really big positive moodlet. Now his relationships, you've met all of them I think. Firstly there's Fiona Brown, his best friend. Then Bart Sasith-Yuvod is an imaginary friend made real, and he is a Generation 1 Sim. And there's Ted Fields from the Babcock household, Pearl Graham from the other 7 Sim household, and finally Philip a mermaid. He's in the military career, level 1, latrine cleaner. He's got a few skills, but is not particularly high in any of them. And in his inventory, I notice he's got quite a few seeds, and I suspect he got them from somehow or other getting his first skill in gardening. And he's got a couple of fish in his inventory too, so he must have been fishing at some stage since he got placed into his house in this world. One of the things I try to make sure all of my Sims have in their inventory is a multi-tab. I find they're very convenient, especially when little Sims have homework to do. This version of Philip obviously hasn't been played very much because he's got no lifetime rewards. But he seems to be quite happy. Most of his needs seem to be almost at the top. I was wondering where this particular building is, the one he's just been waiting in. Let's check it out before we go to his house. So now there it is. It's on the opposite side of the world and at the opposite end of the world. So diagonally opposite from where the base camp is. And that is his house. So he's not very far from home. His house is on a 12 by 13 lot, so it's a similar size to the two houses that we've just done, such as Dave Brown and Adam Watkins and others around the general area. Initially it was just a ground floor and it was already partly furnished, but I've added 2 basements and decorated them, although the bottom basement is not being used at the moment. Now let's have a quick look around at different level. There's the front door. I've tried to give everybody adequate burglar alarms and smoke alarms. When you come in the front door, there is a little foyer with painting and just some decorative items and a clock. And next to that room is a bathroom. He's got the same shower, toilet and a different wash basin than usual, and a door that leads into the kitchen and dining area, which was proving extremely difficult for me to give you a picture of it. The kitchen was already there, but I edited a bit by changing for the usual Alvar vintage items and the custom content harvestable container. There's his little dining area over there. It's a small table with 3 chairs. He can't lock his guests out of his downstairs area. And I left the spare bedroom alone as it was already decorated because I was going to give him his own bedroom downstairs. But I do believe he is ignoring his bedroom downstairs. He seems to be using one of the beds in the spare bedroom. Go downstairs and have a look at his, what's supposed to be his private living area, but anybody can get down there once he lets them in the house. He's got a few skilling items in his bookcase and desk, computer, TV, chess table. He's all set up, got everything he needs for a basic life. If I ever play him, of course, things will change. He's got his storage items there, the esky for the fish and the backpack for the seeds, an insect cupboard and elixir cupboard for his gems and metals, both from Supernatural expansion pack, and that's his bedroom. And he's got a bathroom down here as well. Aha, there is his bathroom, his downstairs bathroom. Got his towel rack. I wonder if it's heated. Looks like it might be. He's got a tub and the usual wash basin, toilet and toilet paper and mirror. And of course his downstairs basement is completely unfurnished, but at least it's painted with floor coverings. He won't get an unfinished room moodlet down there, which is good. And that's it for Philip. He is the last sim for us to meet in this part of town. So next sim will be a little bit further away from this group. Leave him there practicing his chess. We'll make our way across town from Philip's place, across the rooftops, until we find a place that is occupied. Now there's a group of houses there around a little park, and we're not going to go into any of those houses because the Sims that live there are all Generation 1 or 2 Sims, and we've seen lots about them in other episodes. This is a close-up look of their little park. The Sims that are living there are Sonny Ayahod, who is the youngest of Don's alien sons, and his imaginary friend made real, as well as the twins Denise and Daryl, who are Generation 2 Sims, and their imaginary friends made real. And our destination is the house just across the road from the group of Generation 1 and Generation 2 Sims. That's the Wurtzelegio household. They're interesting. I built this house from scratch because the house that was on the lot originally couldn't function as a house. It's on a 15 by 15 lot, so it was quite a serviceable size for this world, and I'm pretty sure the original structure was really meant as a work of art, not meant to be a place where a Sim could live, and I wanted a Sim to live on this lot. I ended up putting 2 Sims in the house, and when I got there for this video, there was nobody home. And then I found Holly walking, and I'm thinking, why is that Sim walking? And she just kept on walking and walking, and she was headed for a park. Why was she walking? It was a mystery to me. Then I had a look at her traits, and she's got adventurous, loves the outdoors, and eccentric. And I'm wondering if that might be the reason. She ended up walking about 2/3 the length of the world before she got to her park. I didn't follow her carefully all of the way. We'll meet up with her at the park. But I'll tell you a little bit about her first. She was made especially for this game. This household was the first household that I added to this world after I decided that I needed to add a lot of Sims from my library. And I started out with a pair of witches because I thought they would add a bit of colour. We've got a mermaid, 2 witches, heap of imaginary friends made real, and the rest are all just human Sims at this point. So she's crossing another bridge. Now she was made brand new. It's never been used before. This is the first time she's been ever in a game. And her housemate is Wenzel, and we've seen him a few times around town. He is in the criminal career and he's at work at the moment, and he's a witch. I made him a year or 2 ago, and he's been played with another witch occasionally. He was made to look a bit different, and so he is different, but I've got a brand new version of him that I've put into this household, and they are just housemates. And here she is, arriving at this little park. We've been here before. I think this is where Philip Feller was. I think others have been here as well. And she's walked all of that way, about, as I said, about 2/3 of the way around the world to sit in the footpath and play with her computer. Let's see who else is here. I checked, it's Sunday, so he's not missing school. And the Sim sitting on the seat is Cleo Baker. Don't know if she knows little Jack or not. It's Jack Walker. He is an imaginary friend born in game, playing with his imaginary friend doll. Both of his parents are imaginary friends made real, and they are Generation 1 Sims. And he's got a little brother as well. We might as well learn about her while she sits there and plays with her computer. Her lifetime wish is Monster Maker, and her traits are adventurous, loves the outdoors, eco-friendly, eccentric, and animal lover. The Sims that she knows, she only knows 3. That's Raina Cooper, who's married to one of the imaginary friends made real from Generation 1. Carolyn Price, who was the first Sim ever added to this world when I put the world into the game. And finally her housemate, Wendell Warzeligo. She's in the journalism career level 1, so she's a paper girl. She's only got the beginnings of 2 skills, social networking and writing. As I said, she's brand new. She doesn't have much experience yet, but she seems to be quite happy at the moment. I think I'll go and check on her housemate Wenzel. He was at work when I activated their household. I think he might be home now. Wenzel's lifetime wish is swimming in cash. His traits are eco-friendly, snob, coward, frugal, mean-spirited. And his relationships are Carla Hoffman, his boss and best friend. She is the 3rd Sim I introduced you to ages ago now. She'll be at the very beginning of the first part of this series of episode 4. She is in my studio on the Exchange as a base game only Sim. He also knows Raina Cooper. Raina Cooper is married to a Generation 1 Sim, Bobby Walker, who is Cindy Walker's imaginary friend made real, and Cindy is the mother of the Generation 2 Sims. And Wenzel also knows Max Ayahod. Max is a Generation 1 Sim. He's the alien son of Don. And he knows Carolyn Price, and Holly Hunter is his housemate. Wenzel is at level 1 of the criminal career. He's only got 1 skill and he's not very advanced in that, just an athletic skill. He doesn't have any lifetime happiness rewards yet, and he hasn't got much in his infantry either, and he's tired. He's just come home from work and he's going to have a sleep now. We'll have a little look around the house while he sleeps. We'll have a quick look in his bedroom when he goes into bed. It's just a very basic little bedroom. He's got the old-fashioned hurricane lamp there, and then the lights go out. Let's leave him to snore. That's a piece of custom content. I have no idea what it is. I think it's supposed to look like a fireplace or something. I just put it there because I saw it in my buy mode. I don't know where it came from. It doesn't do anything. It just takes up space. And they've got a bookcase and a comfy chair. Have you noticed the lack of paintings on the walls? They won't be getting very many lifetime happiness points in this place. I rely on those paintings for environment points to keep their happiness up. And this is Holly's bedroom. And there's a bathroom between the two of them. I built this place and furnished it before I furnished any of the other houses, so this won't be exactly the same as everywhere else. I did this before I decided to just grab Sims from my library. It was going to take me way too much time to make new Sims, and I like to reuse old Sims that are familiar. But they've got a toilet, a vanity basin, a shower, same groovy showers everywhere else, but the tub, mirror and toilet could be all different, but they'll all be good quality. I'm not sure how late it is, but it's fairly late and it's dark outside, and Holly was ignoring the doorbell, so I told her to go and invite Carla in. This is Carla Hoffman. She's in the criminal career, level 1. She shows up as Wendell's boss, and Wendell shows up as her boss. So there you go. They're both in charge of the criminal career at the moment. Maybe there's no other criminals in town. It turns out Carla's quite a character. I had to go and check on her lifetime wish and traits just to verify some things. Her lifetime wish is to become a master thief, and her traits are genius, mooch, kleptomaniac, green thumb, and friendly. Some of the behaviour that she gets up to in this visit is a little bit strange. You'll see. Carla and Holly had never met each other before this evening. They've been chatting ever since Carla came inside, so I suspect they're fairly good friends by now, or at least they're acquaintances. But I think Holly's getting very sleepy, and Wenzel's about to wake up, and things are going to get interesting. Holly was obviously tiring, and Carla wandered off to play with their computer in the corner. I thought she might go home at this point, but she didn't. Before she went to bed, Holly decided that she'd have something to eat. This will be an opportunity for you to have a quick look at their kitchen and dining area. It's not Elva vintage, but it'll work. I thought she was going to cook that, but she just got it out of the fridge. It must have been one of those things to go. I think it's potato wedges or something. Very tiny little dining area. They've got lots of spare space in their house, unlike most of the other houses we've been looking at in this video. And on having a quick look around, I discovered something I'd forgotten about. One of their windows is broken. It's all boarded up. Broken glass. So sad. I don't think I'm going to fix it for them. They'll just have to cope. At least their bedrooms are downstairs, where it should be a little bit more cosy than up here. And when she went back downstairs, Holly was having another bit of chat with Carla. I wondered why Carla was still there, but I didn't tell her to leave. I just wanted to see what would happen next without my intervention. So she and Holly chatted for a while until Holly decided that she really needed to have a sleep, and she went off to bed, leaving Carla alone. Now Carla's a kleptomaniac, of course, but I thought there's nothing much there that she can actually steal. So I left her to it, and Holly went to bed. So Carla was left there all by herself for a few minutes until Wenzel woke up and then they started chatting. I think she must have come to visit Wenzel in the first place because she'd never met Holly before, so now they could have a chat. How nice. This continued on for a while until Wenzel decided that he needed to go into his bedroom to check himself out in the mirror, thereby leaving Carla alone again. Now Wenzel's bedroom door is locked. Only Wenzel has permission to go into that room, and I was stunned when Carla sailed through the door. Now just look at the expression on her face as she is making his bed. The lights were out, but I brightened the picture as best I could. And then she made herself comfortable and decided to have a nap in his bed. She stayed there till morning and headed off to work when she woke up. This was all autonomous. This is why I like to just watch what they get up to without telling them what to do, because you just never know what's going to happen. He just made himself an apple and now he's eating it. He must have been hungry. And off he goes. He's just going to leave her there. He watched a bit of TV before going upstairs to have himself some brain freeze for breakfast. I don't usually let my sins eat brain freeze, but I thought, it's Wenzel, let's see what happens. This was when I realised Holly hadn't cleaned up after her meal. But Wenzel didn't seem to mind, he just sat there and ate all of his brain freeze. I quietly hoped that his brain wouldn't freeze, that he wouldn't turn into a zombie or something. He needs to go to work soon. When he'd finished eating, he surprised me by cleaning up after himself, and then he washed Holly's plate too. And then it was time for him to go to work, and Carla needs to go to work too, and she's still sleeping in his bed. Off he goes on his broomstick. There's a horse there. You don't see many horses in this world. So he's arrived at the criminal headquarters and he's arrived at work, and there he is going through the door. Carla eventually followed, so we left them there for the day. Now Holly goes to work too, and she's a paper girl, and she works in Dupuis Corporate Towers, which is a rabbit hole, and it is buried in the basement under this high-rise building. Let's go check it out. The entrance is through this door on the ground floor. It leads to a large empty room with a set of steps going down to the basement, where another door leads to the rabbit hole, Dupuis Corporate Towers. And this is where Holly goes to work each day. Since the world was never finished, this is just the beta version of it. There's plenty of opportunity to decorate lots of it to suit your own personal requirements, but it's functional. Now Holly is about to go home from work, and here she is leaving the building, coming through the door. She's about to go up the steps, which she does very quickly, and out the door to the outside world. And we'll follow her as she travels home on her broom, because I thought it was really entertaining to see a paper girl riding a witch's broom. I've had way too much fun playing this household. I think probably spent too much time on them, but they're entertaining. We'll see her arrive home and settle into working on her book on the computer, have a quick look through the house from the top down, and then move on to the next house, which is next door to them. The reason I added them to the house where it is because it is directly opposite the group of houses where the Generation 2 Sims are living. Here she is, she's got home, and she's decided to continue working on her book at the dining table with her laptop. It seems she's already written one book. She doesn't have much skill, just a little bit of writing, I think, nothing much else. I'm not sure where Wenzel is, he's probably at work. And now for a quick look through the house and off to the house next door. You can just see her sitting there at the table writing her book, and then down to the bedrooms, and that's it. It's all they've got at the moment. Now it's time to catch up with their next door neighbour, Kevin Carter. And it seems he's another walking sim. His lifetime wish is seasoned traveller, and his traits are adventurous, brave, loves the outdoors, easily impressed and friendly, and he is also walking to a park. He's not got many relationships. He knows Dave Brown, who's his boss, and Lola Walker Williamson, who is Debbie's imaginary friend made real. Now, Debbie is a Generation 2 sim. She's recently moved to Vice City with her imaginary friend made real, and her twin sister Donna's imaginary friend made real came with them as well. And Donna stayed back in Appaloosa Plains because she is to be the mother of Generation 3. And his other relationship is Hayley Dancer. Hayley came from my library as a part of the 7 Sim household. We have already met her. He's in a political career, level 1 podium polisher, which is why Dave Brown is his boss, because Dave Brown is the governor. And we've already met Dave. As a matter of fact, we've now met most of the Sims in this world. And Kevin has only got one skill, it's charisma, which he can use for his job, and he's at level 2. I'm happy to see other Sims at this little park. That is Mary Sasithyavod sitting there reading. She is a Generation 1 sim, Don's alien daughter. And we've got little Jack Walker there playing with his doll again, and that's his mother, Connie, chatting with Riley. Riley is Denise's imaginary friend made real. Denise is Generation 2 sim, and Denise and Riley seem to be having a romance. It's been going on since they were teenagers, and it seems to be continuing, and they live next door to each other. Connie and her husband Matteo are imaginary friends made real and are Generation 1 Sims. That's Dave Brown has just arrived. There's more Sims turning up. It looks like Wendy Worthy and one of Don's alien sons there walking along. I think it might have been Max. And he is a Generation 1 Sim. I'm happy to see so many Sims in the park. This is one of the reasons why I've added all these extra Sims to the game, because I'd go to a park and there'd be 1 or 2 Sims there. They had nobody to meet and make friends with, have romances with, all that sort of thing. And then when Byron, in a previous episode, organised to have a bachelor party and he didn't even have any friends, let alone a fiancée, that just made me decide I had to do it. Yes, that's Wendy Worthy there chatting with Mick Flynn. We haven't met Mick yet, but we've met Wendy. Now, what's happening here between Riley and Connie? Uh-oh, this is not going to go well. Connie is happily married, and Riley, well, he's supposed to be having a romance with his previous owner, Denise. And that's Jack there with his doll. Jack is Connie's little son. I think it's time we go back home and have a look at Kevin's house. As a Twizzy just went by. I've given a lot of Twizzies to the Sims. I like to see them buzzing around town. And here is Kevin's house, next door to Wenzel and Holly, and across the street from a group of Generation 1 and Generation 2 Sims, including Riley, who we've just seen with Connie. Now, Kevin is on a 15 by 15 lot, and it looks like I have added a little bit, an extra square to the back of the house and forgotten to adjust the roof. It looks like he's got an outdoor barbecue area just outside his back door. So here's a view of the house from the top. Looks like I needed to add an extra tile to the back of the house to fit a spiral staircase in. His kitchen and dining room are upstairs. His entry has got a bathroom and a sitting room. It looks like some sort of entertainment room with a back door which exits onto the barbecue area, and a spiral staircase that will go either up or downstairs. In his only basement, he's got his living area with his bedroom and bathroom and storage areas. Let's have a look through from this angle. This house was already furnished before I got to it, so I've really only edited bits of it. The entry room is very small, and on the right we've got this, I think is an entertainment room of some sort. There's all sorts of things in here. He's got a dartboard and a bookcase, some comfy chairs and a dominoes table. It's an old-fashioned record player, and the back door is there, leads to the outdoor barbecue area. The door to the left of the front door leads to a bathroom, and the door immediately straight ahead from the front door leads to the spiral staircase that takes Kevin either upstairs or downstairs. We'll check out upstairs first, where we will find his kitchen and dining area. I have replaced the kitchen appliances with Elvar Vintage, but the kitchen and dining table and chairs were already there, and I haven't touched this TV room. I might have put the curtains up probably, but it's just as it was. I'm showing you with the walls down. And then there's the little patio out the front. I might have got rid of the stairs. I have changed the architecture of a lot of these buildings. Had stairs going up the outside of the front of the building and having two front doors and no internal staircase, making it probably meant to be a duplex with two people living, one up and one down. But I deleted the stairs, put a spiral staircase inside, and just made the bottom front door as the front door. Just a little change. And then I had only one sim living there. And I gave him a basement so I could have some more room. He seems to be quite well set up actually for just one sim. I'll show you around in his basement. He's got all of the usual things down here that everybody else has, but he had such an empty space there because of the size and shape of his lot that I decided he needed something big in the middle of the room, and he got a pool table. And that's going to be some fun shortly. But first, let's have a look at his bedroom and bathroom. He's got the usual storage items, backpack, esky, supernatural cabinets and some cardboard boxes. And there is his bedroom door, and that's his bedroom. Just have a really quick look around here. He seems to have everything he needs. And that door leads to his bathroom. He's got the same sort of bathroom items that most of the other Sims have got. Shower, vanity basin, mirror, tub and toilet. And I always make sure they get a toilet that never breaks. And now he seems to have somebody waiting at the front door ringing the doorbell. So I suspect I'd better send him up there to see who it might be. He's never met her before, but we have. She was at the park earlier this morning. She was chatting to Mick Flynn. I don't think Kevin noticed her, but I think she might have noticed him. She's introduced herself, she's been invited inside, and they're going to get to know each other. It looks like it's lucky I gave him a pool table. They're going to have some fun. I think we'll watch them for just a little while and then move on to the next household. This is something that has happened quite a few times as I have gone around the world videoing various Sims in their homes. Some other Sim will come and ring the doorbell and come inside, but often they'll just stand and chat, and I just don't bother that because it's not very interesting. But when they actually get to do something together, I think then it's worth showing. I've even had more than one Sim turn up and have like a group chat at least once. So let's enjoy this pair getting to know each other while they have fun with the pool table. It's her turn now, and it looks like she's planning her move carefully. I have no idea what their skill levels are. They have both been played before, but I'm not sure if I've grabbed a brand new version of each of them or a version that's been played. And my Sims don't often have pool tables, so there's definite possibility that this is a first game for both of them. Anyway, they played not a very long game. I don't know who won, but when they finished they went off and had a chat. I think he flirted a bit and she didn't like it, and then she flirted a bit and he didn't like it, and then I left them to it. So I think we'll leave them here, and I'll go on and introduce us to the next household. Marty's house is a small distance away from Kevin's place. Just check what's in between the two homes. Marty is living in a disused warehouse. It's just being converted into his home, and a lot of it is quite empty. But he's not home at the moment. Any of you who have been watching my channel for a long time will know Marty. He is in my big game and is in 2 series, Oscar's Childhood and the McFluff story. But in those stories he is an elder. In this one we've got a brand new version of him. He was married to Patience and they form the basis of the big game. So he's been a major part of my playing history. But he's not going to be a big part of this one. He's just one of the extra Sims I've added. Is the 8th member of the Babcock household for us to meet. And he's at this hotel. I think we've been here before, and it's got quite a lot of Sims in it, so I might as well point them out because some of them are not going to be formally introduced to you in this episode because they are family members or close relations to the main household of this perfect genetics challenge. And of course that one sitting in the green chair, that is Barbara Sarsithyvod. We've met her earlier in this video. She's an imaginary friend made real of one of the Generation 1 Sims, and that's Bart Sarsithyvod. He is another imaginary friend made real from one of the Generation 1 Sims. And Wendy Hope in the blue top and shoes. Looks like Marty's having some fun all by himself. That looks like Pat Walker's sitting there with his tablet. It's another one of the imaginary friends made real from Generation 1. And that's Ted Fields standing there in uniform. Most of them, the ones who are not the imaginary friends made real, but a few of the others are fellow members of the previous Babcock household. That little boy there is the son of Raina Cooper. We've seen her around a few times. And his father is Bobby Walker, who is the imaginary friend made real of Cindy. And Cindy is the mother of Generation 2. There's not many children in this world. There's 2 children belonging to Raina and Bobby, and there's 2 belonging to Connie and Matteo, and then there is a teen and a child and a toddler who we haven't met yet, but we will probably see them shortly, and I think their household is going to be the next one that we get to meet. But we'll finish up with Marty first. You need to know lots more about him. Eventually Marty got tired of all this and headed for home in his vintage motor vehicle, and that is where he lives. It is an old warehouse and he mostly lives on the top floor. The rooms on the ground floor are pretty much empty, and there is his house situated in amongst all of the others. He's not very close to Kevin or the others. You can see that greenhouse in the middle of the screen. That is close to where Kevin and Wenzel and some of the others live. But we're going to focus on Marty's place now. The size of his lot, it's huge compared to the others we've been looking at, but it's not very big. It's a 20 by 27 lot. There's parking for several cars on it, but only one car is parked undercover. And he's even got his own commercial dumpster, so he can go dumpster diving at home if he wants. So now it's time to have a quick look around the house. So that's the top of the roof and the 2 levels of the house. You see his car is parked in his big garage there. And the only thing is he's got in this bottom rooms is a sort of a kitchen with a couple of cupboards and a microwave. So that's his front door. He's just come home. He's going to have to go up those steps. But you can see it's very empty down here. I'm thinking since he has a lifetime wish to be an alchemist, maybe I should get him an alchemy station and put down here somewhere so he can actually do some work on his alchemy skill. Now upstairs he's got his own kitchen with Alvar vintage. This was all completely empty. I've just picked a random room and turned it into a kitchen. They're all strangely shaped rooms too. His kitchen and dining are in this one little room. And there he is at his computer. It's his sitting room. His bookcase is tucked away into a corner which would just fit a bookcase. That's his comfy chair. That's the door in and out of the room. And we'll see his TV and his bookcase. See how that door is at the corner? It's cut across the corner. It's not at 90 degrees to a wall. Oh, that other door, that was for his bedroom. So again, the bedroom is strangely shaped. Not easy to give you a good look inside from this angle. It probably would have been easier if I had just demolished all his internal rooms and made better shape and sized rooms, but I wanted to try to preserve what was there as best I could. Now just have a look from above now that you've got an idea. The staircase goes up into that room with the light and dark brown checks, and that just goes down into the area downstairs. And while we're up here, we'll have a quick look at his bathroom. This is the only bathroom he's got in this building. He doesn't seem to have his storage either. I might have to come back here when I get into a live version of the save and update a few things for him. Meanwhile, Martin has gone across town to relax, and that's Bobby Walker sitting on the other side of the fountain. Let's find out something about Martin. His lifetime wish is alchemy artisan, and his traits are adventurous, brave, green thumb, friendly, and born salesman. In his relationships, he knows mostly Sims from his original household. They are Ted Fields, Walter Thompson, Wendy Hope, Dizzy Hart. He also knows Connie Walker and Martin Sasithuvod, who are Generation 1 Sims, and Bill Walker Williamson, who is the father of Generation 2 Sims. And the final three are from his original household. They are Tammy Wilson, Leslie Churcher, and Betty Babcock. He's in the alchemy career, but he's got a lot of work to do with that. He's got quite a few skills. Some of them, like he's maxed gardening, and others he's only got one or two. But he's halfway up a few of them, so he's doing well. He must have been very busy while I was playing him in his original household. And his inventory is pretty full, so I'd better get some storage devices for him and empty his inventory when I get to a live version of the game. And he's got 3 lifetime rewards, and that's it. The next morning I found him running. He was running to the Quantum Bay Hotel, and I thought we'd have a look at what he was doing there, because there's some Sims there that we either have never seen in this save so far, or we haven't seen for a long time. There he is dancing with Wynne Holden. Now, I haven't put a special thing in here for Wynne because she's been in this world for a while now. She's an imaginary friend made real from the challenge that I'd completed previously. That is the 30 Grandchildren Challenge. And she was a favourite of some of the colourful imaginary friends made real that I had in that save. I'm going to try to find the rest of them and put them into other worlds in this save as well, because I really enjoyed giving those imaginary friends made real their makeovers. Now, we've just seen a teen with a toddler and a child arrive by taxi. They are from the Brown family and will be the next family that we get to meet. And the blonde in the blue shirt is Byron. He's an imaginary friend made real. I think he is Daryl's imaginary friend made real. And he's the one who had the bachelor party and he didn't even have any friends, especially no fiance, no one in sight. And that is what really prompted me to start adding lots of extra Sims for him to meet somebody, hopefully. And then Dizzy Hart turned up in a taxi. And it was at this point that Marty decided it was time to leave. See that shiny thing that they're standing on? Wynne and Marty are standing on, that long oval? That's what you call a jig. They're supposed to be invisible, and if you've ever got a spot on your floor that Sims can't walk on, often it's because one of those jigs has been left behind. They should just automatically delete as soon as the Sims interaction ends, but sometimes they don't, and then that spot on the floor is reserved and other Sims can't walk on it. So we'll leave Marty to get on with his life, and we'll head off over to the final Brown household. There's a row of houses down near that ship that's parked beside the wharf, and the house that I've put them in is on a 14 by 20 lot, and it is quite a distance from Marty's place. We're just having a little look around at the various buildings that are between him and the Brown household. We will eventually get there, but you can see the ship at the bottom of the screen. Their house is in one of that row of houses. We've ended up with 3 totally unrelated brown houses in this world for some reason. I have a really bad habit of whenever I'm making a new sim, I make the sim and decorate them and make them look beautiful, just how I want them, and then I suddenly realise I need to give them a name, and I've never got any idea what name I'm going to use, and so I just have to use the first thing that pops into my head, and apparently brown is popular. Sorry about that. Anyway, this brown household has 5 Sims in it, and I will introduce you to them and tell you all about them. The funny thing is, I don't actually know anybody named Brown, but I think I have a vague recollection from way back when I was in 7th grade, and I think there was a girl in 12th grade in my school whose name was Brown. And at that time there was a song that was very popular by Herman's Hermits, Mrs. Brown, You've Got a Lovely Daughter. And I think that is where my connection with the Brown family name comes from. Very dim memory from a long time ago. Barbara Sarsith-Yvod looks hungry. She seems to pop up a lot in these videos. And that is Phyllis Brown treading water in the middle of the pool. She is the wife and mother of the Brown family. I made Phyllis at around the time when the Island Paradise expansion pack was first released, and she used to do a lot of diving, and she met up with Salty Seaworth, and they got married and had a baby daughter, Mermaid, and she got me the badge that you get when one of your Sims has a baby mermaid. So that was exciting. And here she is driving home with her own car. Now, I'll tell you a little bit more about the Brown family. Her husband, Les, was originally made a long time ago. He was one of the earlier Sims that I made, so he's pretty basic, and I made him as a single father with a teenage daughter. So at some point I have added Phyllis to their little family, and he and Phyllis got married, and they had 2 little daughters of their own. And obviously that was a new version of Phyllis at that point. I didn't move her from the Salty Seaworth family. She was just in my library, and she got added to Les and Mary's game, and she married Les. And then they had these 2 little girls. So she is the stepmother to Mary, and we'll meet the whole family now. Little Teresa is a toddler, and it looks like she got stuck in the bathroom, so we might as well have a look at the bathroom while they're there. Now, let's have a full family meeting. Les has arrived as well. Yes, and they've got the usual tub and shower, groovy shower. I like that one. That's what I seem to give to just about everybody. And that was the basins that were here, and I've given them an upgraded toilet and some toilet paper. This house was already furnished. I've just edited various bits of it. This bathroom is on the ground floor, and it leads into the kitchen dining area. And here is Mary. She is sitting on the fountain. That's her family tree, and you can see her father with her and her 2 little half-sisters. And then when I click on her father, we see his family tree, and her stepmother Phyllis is added. Mary's lifetime wish is to become the tinkerer. She needs to maximise the handiness and logic skills, and her traits are hopeless romantic, ambitious, friendly and lucky. She's a teen and will get her 5th trait when she ages up to young adult. Now, her relationships. There's Les Brown, her father, Phyllis Brown, her stepmother, Stella Brown, her half-sister, Therese Brown, her other half-sister, and she also knows 2 teens that were generated by the game, Forrest Weiner and Anton Nichols. There are no teens in the world that I have added. I'd like to add some, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I have to think about it. She's at grade C at high school, and she's got quite a lot of skills. Some of them she's gone fair way up in, and others she's barely started. But she's got about 8 or 9 skills, I think. She's got to work on her handiness and logic skills, obviously, to get her lifetime wish. She doesn't have much in her inventory. I think this family must have spent some time travelling to the World Adventures destinations, because they seem to have quite a lot of stuff relating to that part of the game. She's got some lifetime rewards as well. She's quite happy at the moment. She's heading off home in a taxi. When she gets home, Mary starts to walk in one of the front doors. There's several front doors, and she spots her little half-sister Stella sitting on the floor playing. Now let's have a look at Stella's information. She doesn't have a lifetime wish yet because she's a bit too young for that, and she's got 3 traits as a child. She's a brave, genius, and friendly. And her relationships are Phyllis Brown, her mother, Les Brown, her father, Jack Walker and Gareth Cooper, who are boys that she knows from school, and we've seen them around town. Mary Brown, her half-sister, Whitney Cooper, another boy that she knows from school. Then there's a boy that the game has added, Mark Ferreira, and then her little sister Therese Brown, and finally another boy the game has added, Ajar Urban. So most of the Sims that she knows are her family members, and she knows 3 of the children that are related to the main household. They are Jack Walker, Gareth Cooper and Whitney Cooper. Adam Watkins has dropped by, and Les and Mary were out the front there having a conversation with him, but Mary has wandered off. So while Les is standing there quietly, let's check him out. His lifetime wish is golden tongue, golden fingers, and his traits are lucky, flirty, virtuoso, angler, great kisser, and his relationships are Phyllis Brown, his wife, Mary Brown, his daughter, and Therese Brown and Stella Brown, his 2 youngest daughters, Cleo Baker, Adam Watkins, and Eva Lyons. Cleo, Adam, and Eva are all from the same original household. Les obviously decided that it would be more fun to watch his digital fish than continue chatting with Adam. And Les is level 1 in the music career. He's a fan. And then he and his daughter Mary decided they'd have a pillow fight. So might leave them there fighting, having fun, and we'll go and check out little Therese and her details. Therese has been taken upstairs. She can't manage the steps on her own yet. She's a toddler, so she doesn't have many skills or anything really. Her lifetime wish, she doesn't have one. Her traits are brave and friendly, and her relationships are Les Brown, her father, Phyllis Brown, her mother, Mary Brown, her big sister, and Stella Brown, her middle sister. And here she is playing with her peg box. The only thing she's got to do before she ages up to child is to read some of those books. So we'll get her to do that one day, and I'll give you an update, but it won't be in this episode because I can't save this episode as part of the game because I've already played onward back in the main household with Generation 3. Now let's get introduced to Phyllis. Her lifetime wish is seasoned traveller. Her traits are family-oriented, friendly, green thumb, brave and adventurous. Her relationships are her husband Les Brown, her 2 little daughters Stella Brown and Therese Brown, her stepdaughter Mary Brown, and a couple of Sims from around town that she knows, Eva Lyons and Barbara Sasithyavod. I saw her swimming with Barbara earlier in this episode. Her career is gardening. She's level 1 cucumber crusher. She's got quite a lot of skills. She's maxed cooking. She's at level 10 in cooking and level 8 in gardening, and other skills. She's got a variety of achievements, usually around the middle of each skill. She's got a few things in her inventory and quite a lot of lifetime rewards. which are useful for her to have. So now that's it for the family's introductions. All we really need to do now is have a look around the house. It's a very strangely organised house. This house is in a group of 3 houses, and it's the end house on the corner. The other 2 houses are vacant. So we'll have a look through the house. It's on a 14 by 20 lot. The layout of this house is different from any of the other houses we've looked at so far. So this is the top level where the bedrooms and the bathrooms are, and here is the lower level with the kitchen and living room and dining room, and there's an empty basement with no access at this point. I've noticed that Phyllis is in the gardening career. She doesn't have a garden, so I might end up trying to give them access to that basement and give her a little garden down there. Have a look from the top down. They have parking for 2 cars, only one undercover. And the upstairs is their bedrooms and bathrooms. Downstairs is their kitchen, dining and storage areas. They have living areas both up and downstairs. Downstairs they have car parking and a barbecue. To the left of the cars we've got a games room, which is only got access to the street. Actually, there's a door there that goes out to the letterbox, and there's no other rooms that you can access from that games room. The view from outside looking in to the games room, and then immediately behind this room is a storage room which is accessed only by a staircase down from the 2nd level, and in it they've got all of the usual storage items, the 2 cupboards from Supernatural, as well as the cardboard boxes and esky and backpack. Plus they've got shelves because they've obviously been adventuring into the World Adventure worlds, and they've got lots of stuff relating to world adventures. Just have a little look around and then we can move on to the next room. Access to the kitchen and dining area is through the front door, street access, and that white door in the background there is to the bathroom, which we've already had a look at. It just has a shower tub and toilet and a hand basin. That is the dining table. Quite a nice view through the front door. Kitchen, I have put Alvar Vintage in there again, except for the fridge, because that fridge has been recoloured, but it is the reward the sim gets when they get to the top of the culinary career, become a celebrated 5-star chef. So it is a special fridge. If you put food in it, it will not go bad. Now this is just a little entry room which also has an external door to the car parking area, and there's the steps that go up to the upstairs living area where they've got all sorts of things. So that's the steps that are going down to the storage room. You can see there on the right, chess table. They've got their TV and comfortable chairs here, their computer desk and bookcase. Good view. There's the TV and comfortable chairs.
Wagno!
And down the other end of the room is a dominoes table and the toddler and child skilling table objects. And here is the parents' bedroom, the main bedroom, and their white louvered door on the left there is to their ensuite shower and toilet and hand basin. It's just the usual bathroom fixtures that I've usually used for various households, but there's no tub because there's just no room for a tub in this little tiny room. We go out that door, and the next door is to the room for the 2 little girls. There's a bed and a cot as well as other bedroom items in this room. In the long family room there are plenty of objects for the family to enjoy and gain skills. And the final bedroom belongs to Mary, and it's just through that door. The room is quite small, but it has what she needs: a bed, bedside table and lamp, a dresser and mirror. This end of the house, directly above the kitchen and dining room area, While little Therese was sitting playing with the peg box, her father, Les, showed up and he decided to play the piano, and he's really good at it. He is a virtuoso and he is at level 10 with the piano skill. Just have a quick look around and see some of the things that this family gets up to, and then we can move on to the final household. And we've seen Mick Flynn around town quite often, so it's not going to be a surprise to meet him. I did miss out on him though when I went. He should have been the first one we'd met, but he's going to be the last. Mick Flynn is a sim that I made several years ago. He's one of my older sims. He's been in a few games, including one where he is married with 6 children, and I think he's about an elder in that game. I haven't played that one for years. In this game he came from the library, a younger version of him, and he was part of a 7-sim household that we've already met everybody else from that household. The thing I'm showing you here is Mick visiting Dupee's corporate towers. Now, I have done a little bit of decorating because this was all empty and undecorated, and I just thought it might be fun to do something. I can't save this, of course, it won't be in the final game, but it is here as an idea for how to change the rabbit holes that are buried in basement. So this is upstairs and he's going to go down those steps and we will see what I've done down there. The steps are in the world when you first get it new. It's just that the decoration around them hasn't been added. I just added that. The reason I can't save this into the game is because I have already progressed the game well beyond this point, and any relationships that we see that Mick has, they don't include any sims that we might have seen him chatting to during the rest of this video, because I keep opening up the same old save without any updates. So when we come back here during actual gameplay, none of the sims in this video will remember anything about what has happened during this video, because I will be going back to the later save, which none of this happened in. Now I'll just quickly give you a little look at some of the ideas that I've tried out. I've learnt a few things of what not to do down here. There's quite a lot you can't do, but there are a few things that I think will cheer it up a little bit more than it is when it's just an undecorated empty basement with a rabbit hole stuck in the middle of it. So of course that building in the background is the rabbit hole, and the other things that I'm showing are what I've put in there. Added some playground equipment and a dumpster and some boxes of flowers. They came from build mode, I think the community objects. So now let's go back to his regular life, because he likes to be in the gym. We've seen Mick around town numerous times during this video. However, this version of him has only met a few sims, because every time I record something about a particular sim or particular household, I have reopened the game so they don't remember anything that they might have done in another part of the video. I've done this because this game that I'm using for this video is in the past. The actual game has progressed beyond this point, and this is the level at which the Sims will appear when we next visit Vice City. And now it's time to get to know his personal details. And that was Win Holden, an imaginary friend made real from the 30 Grandchildren Challenge. Mick's lifetime wish is to achieve physical perfection. He needs to reach level 10 in martial arts and the athletic skills. His traits are disciplined, friendly, green thumb, brave and adventurous. His relationships are mostly from his original household. They are Eva Lyons, Cleo Baker, Pearl Graham, Adam Watkins and Hayley Dancer. And he also knows Bill Walker Williamson, who is the father of Generation 2 Sims and is just visiting. Bill will go home shortly and we will meet up with him again in Appaloosa Plains to see his grandchildren arriving, the Generation 3 Sims. Now Mick is in a professional sports career. He's a rabid fan, level 1. He's got some skills is level 6 in athletic. He has the charisma, cooking, fishing skills all at level 5. Gardening is a level 8. Handiness and piano are level 4. Painting is level 1 and martial arts level 5. So he's got a bit of work to do before he gets his lifetime wish. He doesn't have much in his inventory, but that police car surprised me. I don't know where he got that from. He's managed to get a nice little collection of lifetime rewards as well. I'll help him. I think he's talking to Bill at the moment. Oh, and there is Mary Sasithivod sitting there reading, and Wyn Holden using the treadmill. Mary, of course, is a Generation 1 sim. Oh, and there's Dave Brown. He's the only member of Mick's original household that isn't in his relationship panel. So I don't know if he forgot about Dave or if they just didn't get on. I'm not sure. Well, now you've met everybody in the world that I've moved in. We haven't gone through the Generation 1 Sims and Generation 2 Sims and their imaginary friends made real because I've had whole episodes on them, so I won't go through them. If they've popped up, I've told you who they are. Now this is Mick's house. It's on a 9 by 17 lot. It's quite a small place. The little park next door is on a 6 by 7 lot. It used to have a house on it, but I decided I'd be happier to see it as a little park. Across the street I see Barbara Sasithievod's green Twizy parked next to the swimming pool. And this is just a quick look around the buildings that are near where Mick lives. And now let's have a look down from above. Then spin it around a bit so we can have a closer look. It says letterbox in the street at the right hand side of the screen. Now he's got 2 levels in his house, upstairs and downstairs. It was already furnished when I moved him in, fully furnished, but I have swapped out a few things and replaced them with higher quality items. The bathroom fixtures as usual and some of the kitchen as well. And now we'll go and have a look from the Sims eye level. I see he's got some little window boxes at some of his windows with flowers. Got quite a nice garden. And let's go in through the front door. On the left there's steps going up to the upper level. On the right there's a little sitting room. I don't think I changed anything in the sitting room. That's just as it came. It's got an easel, TV, nice little figs that the cats can scratch. But he doesn't have a cat. Dresser. And that is the front door, and if you walk in the front door you walk straight through to the kitchen and dining area. And I've changed some of the items to Alvar Vintage. That is the Alvar Vintage fridge. It's been recoloured to match the kitchen cupboards. The rest of the kitchen and dining has been left exactly as it came with the world. However, I did add the custom content storage item that I've been using for them to put their harvestables in. You can put anything in it, but I just use it for harvestables in the kitchens in this world. There's a bathroom with a bathtub, hand basin, mirror and a toilet. It's a tiny room with no space for a shower. Now let's go up those steps and have a look at what is upstairs. The stairs lead into a hallway with 4 doors leading into a small bathroom and 3 bedrooms. This very small bathroom has a shower but no tub. It also of course has hand basin, mirror and toilet. And the other 3 doors lead into bedrooms. There's a main bedroom and 2 spare bedrooms, and I have set one of them up as the storage and office room. So that's his main bedroom with his bed. He's got a chest set in here. I don't know why that is, but he has. Doesn't seem to have any drawers or wardrobe for storing his clothes, but he does have one downstairs in the little living room. And the other 2 doors go into bedrooms. The end door has his office, his computer, desk and his storage items. The 2 cupboards from Supernatural plus the cardboard box esky and backpack, and the other door goes into a spare bedroom which is quite small and has a bed and bedside table, and that is it. Apparently whoever he shares the house with is going to have to share his chest of drawers that's down in the little living room, sitting room that's just near the front door. And that's it. He doesn't have a basement, but we could always add one if we needed to. He's got access to the gym and he can mix with the locals, and there's plenty of facilities around town. So he is the final one for me to introduce you to. The other pair you can see behind him, one is Rania Cooper, who is married to a Generation 1 sim, and the other is Byron, who is an imaginary friend of a Generation 2 sim. We will be back in Vice City eventually because there are still 6 young Sims in Appaloosa Plains house who will be moving here once they age up to young adult, and I'll obviously visit here occasionally throughout various generations just to keep an eye on the place. I'm hoping that all these new Sims I've added will liven it up and we might start having more marriages and babies being born here. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, give it a like. That'd be greatly appreciated. And the other thing is, this is a very long video, much longer than I usually do. So I'm going to be breaking it up into 3 or 4 or maybe 5 or 6 parts and put it up again as much shorter videos. But I just thought I would also load this long version as well, just in case. Thank you for watching. Bye bye for now and happy simming.
Nepnar.
Oh, no.